Look how ready he is.
Bro, look how ready he is right now. Bro, we were going to do it at all 3 shows.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
All right. Little extra, well, should I even be like this is extra?
I feel like we finished recording, then got the news. We're adding this.
Very cool. All right. New episode of KFC Radio. We are adding this extra segment on after the fact because we were finished up recording when we got the news about Mincy getting fired. So a late night edition onto the podcast. We'll have our regular normal fun after this. But obviously it's a shitty situation and kind of a, you know, an unfortunate watershed moment for Barstool, where it's kind of like a before and after. It's going to be a moment that I think people talk about for a while, just because it's, you know,
the vacation of America, Kevin. Can't even say the N-word into a live mic anymore.
Well, yes, that is. There is 2 sides to the story.
There are 2 sides, and they're both really funny, to be honest. I want to be honest before we get into anything. I've been at a movie. I don't know what the temperature of anything is, so I'm just gonna go.
Okay.
And you can steer the ship, and I'm
the temperature right now.
Now that I've started talking, it seems like the temperature is a different temperature than I thought it was.
I think your temperature's off. I think your thermostat's broken. The temperature right now is one of not my Barstool. Penstool Sports. Penstool Sports sucks. You know, you sold out. You know, old Barstool would never do this. Dave shouldn't do this. You know, all that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I see. I'm very much gonna both sides this thing because I see both sides exceptionally clearly.
Oh, I mean, Dave laid it out as clearly as you can. If you haven't heard that, go to Dave's Twitter. He had an emergency press conference where he basically lays out. And if you don't know the story, Mincy last week, during his live Wake Up with Mincy video, was rapping Bone Thugs lyrics, accidentally slipped the N-word in there. And the executives over at Penn said this, we believe that there is a strong to almost a 100% chance that certain states would pull their gambling license with Barstool over this issue if Penn did not act, you know, swift and decisively and fire Mincy. Now, Dave said that he fought like tooth and nail and was saying, you know, if it was me, I would tell those states to go fuck themselves. To which Jay was like, Jay Snowden, the CEO of Penn, was like, if you do that with one of the states, like all of the states would follow suit and we would like lose our gambling existence. Penn is a $1 billion multi-billion-dollar company, as Dave said. They have shareholders now. They have, you know, employees and families and all that stuff. And it unfortunately
a lot of regret.
What?
And regret. They have a significant amount of regret as well.
Right now, they're probably like, whoops. So they decided, you know, it was not worth the risk. Mincy, you know, they have to fire him to, you know, show of good faith that, you know, they handled the situation. You know, anybody who thinks it's anything other than like an accident or just a slip up. Yeah, like there's no ill will, there's no malintent, there's no hint of actual racism in anything Mincy has done. But it's just like, it's unfortunately the perfect storm of it's one of the only live things we do. Well, I mean, we do live streams, but like as far as live show content, it's the only one that is out there that couldn't have been edited after the fact. And 2,
let's new rule of Barstool Sports can't go live. That is between the first Facebook Live rundown and Mincy here. I mean, it's we bullied Mincy. Mincy didn't really do much for about 3 years here. And then we bullied him into a morning show. And by we, I mean the royal we. I don't think I had anything to do with it, but the royal we. And my man didn't get through the runtime of Titanic before he dropped an N-bomb.
And that's the other half of it. It's the one thing you can't do, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I can understand fans who are upset because we know what.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just, you know, we know there's some hypocrisy here. Like there was another member of Barstool that once did the same thing, and I'm sure people are going to bring that up. I myself, I mean, I've said a million things that I know people are offended by, and so I'm sure there are going to be people saying, well, if this guy, how come not this guy and this person? And what about this instance and that and the other thing? And, you know, to that I say, I don't know. It's like one happened in real time. One is the worst thing, you know, the one word you really can't say. But it
is by definition, it's cancel culture. It is. Barstool Sports is now a part of cancel culture. I mean, Dave explicitly said it. I did watch Dave's video. Dave just, I don't know if he realized this, but like, he's like, well, they deal with the bigger thing and they're doing what they think is right to protect their brand. That's what everyone who fires someone for doing the wrong thing.
Always cancel culture.
That's what it is. That's what they're doing, what they think is the best to protect their money. It's not what society's going to agree with most of the time, but that's what everyone's doing every time they fire someone for fucking up.
I think what's probably the difference here is not the difference, but I think when Barstool was purchased by Penn, very clearly we laid out there are things will change in this gambling world. You can't say certain words. You can't bet to, you know, above your means. We're not doing anything illegal gambling wise. You have to follow the letter of the law when you're talking about gambling, like explicitly. And I think everybody understood that. This is the first time it's like, well, this is not about gambling. This is about it. The bottom line ends up being gambling. We get to gambling, but it's coming from content and it's coming from, you know, deciding on what language can and can't be used and who can say what and who can't say what. And so that's, you know, that is not just like, hey, we have rules and regulations we need to follow. This is image. This is an image issue. And if you start to go down that path, you know, the infamous phrase of slippery slope. So,
just to interject for a sec, it was on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube.
Yeah, and that, you know, that certainly does not help that it's a actual gambling property of Barstool. But I think that this would be a problem no matter where it came from. Now that Penn owns the whole company, I don't think it really makes a difference which stream it's on. Maybe this hurt the cause even more so, but I think this could have happened pretty much anywhere. I
think he probably could have said anywhere. I do think it's probably worse on the gambling thing.
Yeah.
But I obviously wholeheartedly agree with all the people who are like, not my Barstool. I've written blogs about things in the past already. I think the people who are surprised by that are like surprised that their grandmother who had cancer died. Like,
it's been this way.
The writing's been on the wall. They've told us till they were blue in the face that things won't change, and they told listeners and readers things won't change. I mean, if you believe that, I got a bridge to tell you. I mean,
things obviously have to change in some regard. I think they've been great about almost everything else. I don't think there really has. I mean, have they interjected into content at all other than this?
No. But I mean, I wouldn't expect them to do that. But I don't think content, and not ours. We obviously don't do much gambling content. We have limited to no interaction with Penn. But like, yeah, things are going to be run to say things weren't going to be run differently, or to say things weren't going to change is
crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. Again, I mean, they told to us too. It wasn't just to the fans; it was also to employees, and they tell employees all the time that you don't have to do gambling content. I don't even know if I still believe that, but I nod along. So it is, yeah, not
But
my
as far as, but as far, so there's two different types of different though. There's like that sort of stuff, and then there's like censorship. And I don't think that, at least from my point of view, again, not that much interaction with them. I've never heard from Penn on any of our topics or any of our segments. We also, though, I think we are pretty good at the line. We know where the line is. We know where the line was. We know where the line is. We operate within that, parameter, as does like everybody at Barstool, except for this instance of a slip up. And it, I don't know how complex the issue is. I wish there was a way to like see if there's an issue first. Like, I haven't heard the mob is not like banging down Penn's door unless they were. If somebody picked up the phone today and said, "Hey Jay, we got a problem with this," and maybe this is them just trying to forecast and get ahead of things, which is always smart business wise. But I'm like, man, is that happening? Dave said, the people who hate us will use anything against us. And I'm sure he said, Emily Steele or whatever that one girl's name is.
What is that?
I think it's a Business Insider girl, or, one of them. I'm sure it's one of his enemies, is frothing at the mouth right now to write about this. And it's like, I don't know. Is Mincy, going to draw that sort of ire? Like, they probably will try to use anything and everyone against Dave and Barstool, but until they did, is it and was it going to be an issue? But I guess that's rather reactive rather than proactive, to just like wait to see if you have a problem. And at the end of the day, I don't think any one person is going to be deemed more important than the whole operation by Penn. Now, some people, there's probably like two people at the company that would. Dave's always said that everybody gets judged differently. I don't know if anybody could survive this one, but if there is, it's probably a very short list of one or two people.
Oh, I would 100% expect to be gone.
Yeah. So like, it's one of those things where it's like, it was so harmless and in a way silly, despite the fact that it's a very serious issue. The way it unfolded and the way we talked about it, there is some humor to it. And in that regard, you're like, this is no one deserves to be fired for it. And then the other side is like a very clear cut. You're in corporate America now, and you said the one word you can't, and it was on camera and it was live. So of course there's going to be repercussions. So both sides are true.
When it first happened, I was like, he's not even going to get an email over this. Like,
you're right.
And
if Penn wasn't in the picture, it would be fine. And if Dave still had say, I don't know, I think he would have been like, well, if XYZ state wants to pull the license, then like fuck him. But it's not his call anymore. And that's also, it's like a matter of months after the switch over. It was really just the perfect storm to fuck over Mincy. But again, it's not really fuck over when it's like, everybody's got to take responsibility for their actions. And it's not that
really is the clearest, like, both sides thing of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of, and I've told this story before, when my buddy called me on like a Tuesday morning, and I was like, why is he calling me? And I was like, you always think that's an emergency to answer that call. So I was like, what's up? He's like, I just got fucking fired, dude. And I was like, oh shit, like, what happened? And he's like, I don't know, some bullshit about my numbers not being enough and my expenses being too big, and I'm late for work all the time, and I don't respect my boss. And I was like, so all the reasons then. All the reasons. And like, if you call Mintz, it was like, why did I get fired? And it's like, I don't know. I went to a lot of college baseball games for like 3 years, and then I said the N-word pretty quick on a show. It'd be like, okay, so the reasons to get fired.
Yeah.
But also in context, it really, I don't know. I said a million times on here, I thought it was funny. I get to say that this white gentleman has declared saying the N-word was funny, but it is it's like, yeah, I get it, and also I don't get it.
Yeah. And the only thing is, I've seen some people saying, good luck trying to grow a comedy brand with rules like this. This rule already exists pretty much everywhere, know? And yeah, does it set the best tone that if you come to Barstool or if you already work at Barstool and you let it rip, that they very quickly say, hey, you ain't worth the risk. You're gone. Yeah, I guess that's not great, but like, what reality are you operating in that you would think, unless unless we bring in fucking Dave Chappelle, like whoever comes in is not going to be worth the risk of $1 billion gambling entity. So, and it's not a unique situation.
No,
It's
it
a
also
work.
wasn't that quick. Again, Mincy's been here like 3 years. I like Mincy very much. But I've never worked with him, so I think I'm kind of looking at this more scientifically than perfect. Personally, I don't really know him that well as a person. I don't think that, like, Mincy's been here 3 years. That's a long. It's not like a very quick decision to decide on someone. That's a long time.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying more like yeah. I meant more like whoever would come in to this new comedy branch would already, I think, understand. If I were to ever go live and say a racial slur, I'm probably on the chopping block.
Yeah.
And
Let's make sure we put it in the bylaws, like white guys N-word. No.
Maybe we'll put that at the top of the list. Now, if this got to the point where if we hired somebody, or if somebody already at Barstool, if they dig up old tweets and it's like a long time ago or out of context or a word or a joke or a saying that is not as clear cut as the one racial slur you can't say, and that person got fired, like there are other examples, I think, where I would be like, wait a minute, this actually really does set a bad tone and a bad precedent. I'm pretty sure a precedent of you can't go live and say the N-word has already been established, whether it was spoken or unspoken or old Barstool or new Barstool, I guess that's where people come in being like hypocritical because it has been done before and there was no firing. I have to tell you, man, the boss did it at the time, and he didn't fire himself, and it was a different world, and he already went through that, and I actually think Dave has changed and learned and adapted on that one after being stubborn at first. I think he kind of saw the big picture. So yes, I don't know. Is there some level of hypocrisy? Is there some level of unfairness? Is there some level of not my Barstool? Is there some level of this isn't the best scenario for content creators? All of these things are true, yes, but them's the breaks. I don't know. Sometimes bad shit, unfortunate shit happens when you make content 1 billion hours a week with 1 billion people all in the mix. This, the good thing of Barstool is you get hired and it's like, go rip it. The bad thing of Barstool is, maybe someone who was not should have been live on one of our major channels got the chance to go live. You go to any other content creator, it's like, hey, I want to do a wake up show. Can I use, the main account, the main gambling account, YouTube? It's like, yeah, maybe in 10 years when we vet you and we, you know what I mean? All
we'll see
that
how
shit.
It goes for 2 weeks first.
Right. So, there's in that regard, it's the most Barstool thing ever. So, yeah, I mean, I never thought he would get fired. And then I think to myself, why did you never think that?
I really didn't think there was going to be. I was like, no one's going to care about this, and obviously, that has been changed. It wasn't that I think no one was going to care about it. I thought everyone was going to look at it in the way we did. Where he had clear, immediate remorse. He was reading something. He wasn't rapping from memory. He wasn't rapping along. He was just reading words, and Mincy just. I think Dave said to Ron Burgundy, it was just the words were there and he read them. It was if you gave him Huck Finn, it would have been the same result. Right. It's just Mintz saw words, read words. And it was maybe not the best. Maybe do a test run to see am I going to read every word right here? But I've said this 2 or 3 times already. It is the clearest case of yeah, this is fucked up, and he clearly didn't mean it. And also, yeah, I mean, he said the N-word into the live mic. It is. I don't know if Penn expected we have to take swift action on this, and I don't think they planned for everyone being like #Mintz did nothing wrong.
That's my thing.
Like,
Was there any backlash so far? Like that's
no. I mean, I don't think there was. But I don't think they're talking about backlash from like the mob or whatever the fuck you want to call
yeah,
it.
they're talking about the gambling shit, right?
They're talking about
Yeah,
like,
I think it's more like this could get no backlash until let's say January 1st, 2024 is when blah 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 state revises their gambling licenses. And that's when somebody with an axe to grind picks up the phone and says, hey, Senator, whoever, or whatever. Did you know that this is what Barstool Sports did and or did not do? They didn't do anything about this. And then it comes back to bite you. So, and I just, like I said, I don't think anybody is going to ever get the pass from Penn on a situation like this, but it's also certainly not going to be, I don't think Mincy was going to, there's just nobody who Penn could justify risking all of that against what, he does and brings in for the company.
yeah. I thought Dave should have taken a little more I thought there was a little buck passing going on. And you could say you fought whatever, but I don't know. If you're still, I guess I don't know who's what anymore. I guess everyone employed by Penn. I guess no one really.
I think the thing is, I think it's it's not Dave's call. I think Dave can be consulted, and then he was, and it sounds like about 24 hours of those guys fighting back, but they ultimately say, like, cool, understand your viewpoint. I think he said Jay agrees. Like he said Jay Snowden views the world the way we do, meaning like all of this stuff when it comes to cancel culture and humor and PC and all that shit. Like Jay is very much aligned with what Barstool does. I think that's how this whole deal worked, and that's why it's relatively gone smoothly, and there has been no sort of interjecting. But this is, we haven't had anything on this level of this magnitude since they took fully over, and now there's, I
think there should be a change, not a change, but like there should be someone who is the face
from Penn, or
and who also works with Barstool, and they're like, this was my decision.
Yeah, you're right, because right now it's just, I mean, Dave did mention Jay by name, so it's not like they're not putting a name on it, but it is kind of like Dave was the content person that represented Barstool with Penn and vice versa. And now if he's just like, it's not my call, I don't do that anymore. It's like, well, who does? And who is, is it Erica? Is it, I'm sure it's maybe a combination of, but at the end of the day, who really, I wonder if this happened a couple months ago, if it was still when Barstool was very much under Penn's umbrella, but not a full, fully under, would they have pulled the plug? Would they have said, we're not going to buy the other 50%? Would they have said to our shareholders, that's this other subsidiary, we don't, we only do these things with them, we have nothing to do with that? I don't know, because he did do gambling and he was on their streams and whatnot. So I don't know, but you're right. It is kind of like, well, if it's not you, then who is it?
Yeah.
That's
not even like me being like, I'm looking, that's an employee who's curious.
Yeah. It's like, who do I have to, make sure I know their rules? And a lot of this shit is common sense. That's why people be like, good luck building a brand. It's like, I don't know. I think anybody that I would try to bring in, I guess I have to explain this, but I think they would pretty much understand that and fall in line with it really quick. Anybody
this one is the ultimate.
I want to be able to go live and say whatever I want, and I know what it's more about is you want to work for a company that has your back, and doesn't throw you to the fire if shit goes down. But welcome to the real world. Welcome to the new world. Welcome to also the corporate world. It's like, yeah, we're not the 10 guys in a dentist office anymore. It is a big fucking company. It's a public company. And so that's how this is going to go from now on.
And again, like, I don't know. Again, I mean, I knew that they claim otherwise, but I think you always knew that. But the common sense thing is like everything's common sense in retrospect. This one is, again, the obvious one. But there could be next week something like, it's common sense. You can't do that. And like I don't know. Like, I was making a joke. And again,
Right.
we're separate. I think we're separate. I don't fucking know. I don't know who we report to. I don't know who fires us. I don't know what. But like, there are definitely, like, while this was going down, when Dave posted his video, we were doing an out of order sketch. And I have sketch ideas where I'm like, it's definitely towing a line. I'm not saying any horrible words outright. There are some where I have some in mind, and I think we've discussed some that are definitely like, Now I'm
Yeah.
like,
Now I don't know.
right,
And that
like,
I think that is what people are thinking about. You know,
Yeah.
it used to be the place of like shoot first, ask for forgiveness later. And now you have to think about things and maybe tone it down. And yeah, man, like that does suck. What do you want me to tell you? I wish it was back in 2009 where I could use every word I wanted and touch every topic I wanted to be as funny as possible. Nobody gets the luxury of doing that anymore. Nobody, anywhere. It's not a Barstool issue. It's not a Penn issue. It's the world. And I think that for the most part, it's been pretty cool. They've been pretty good. It's the one obvious you can't do. And, if the rest of the world took context and intent into everything, we'd be fine. People don't. People, when they take things out of context, when they just use the clip, when they bring up old shit, when they use it to, actively work against you, you don't want to give your enemies ammo. So
if I'm going to play devil's advocate here, like that, we're just making the argument against, like, that's, anyone who was ever firing someone because of the mob could use that excuse.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't what Barstool was. And now it is.
Yeah. Right. When it's a lot easier to talk about freedom of speech and, the purity of comedy and all that when you don't have $1 billion of employees and shareholders and all that shit. It's like every decision you make and every decision you make in life comes down to like a risk reward. And when you're in the deep end, the way we are, a lot more to risk. And
I agree. Like, but again, these are just the things anyone could, like, it's who we are now. We are the monster. We are the mountain. It's not fun for everybody.
But yeah, but I would just say, I think we've still done a great job of becoming, if this is like the worst that it gets for corporate Barstool, I think that's a pretty fair trade-off. I think it made a lot of people a lot of money. It brings in a lot of new talent. It's paying, I think there's a lot of people making money that, they never thought they would make, opportunities they never thought they would get. And for the most part, you can do and say whatever you want. If the one line is like, please don't use the #1 racial slur on live entertainment on our channel, I think I would say that's a successful sellout. Like, it's not like they came in, they fired everybody, and the next day we weren't allowed to curse at Barstool. They just said, hey, don't do this one thing.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And we'll see, and we will see what the future brings. Like, the slippery slope. But I think for the most part, this is.
Do you think it'll? And I've since the change, like, I don't think I've ever really held anything back. I don't think I will going forward. I think I guess I will hold back the N word. But do you see it affecting anything you do?
I'll be honest, without shooting ourselves in the foot and incriminating ourselves for these enemies who like to go after us, I feel like we've been letting it fly more than ever.
I agree with that very strongly.
Yeah.
I agree with that as well.
What does that mean? Are you cutting stuff out?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just aware of you guys.
I thought it was said in a tone of like, my job's getting a lot harder.
Oh no, I'm just ready to talk to people, and like I'm just like always. There's certain things I've been like, oh, someone's gonna come talk to me about this. No one's actually noticed yet. So
No, like we are pretty lucky. We are kind of on our own island. I guess it's because we don't do much gambling stuff, which is why our time here is limited, I'm sure.
But no, I think people in bar like other coworkers of ours have said, like, boy, you're just like letting it rip these days, and people have been really liking the show. But I think this is how it goes. It kind of like you push, and then there's like an incident and you fall back. will I, say some of the things I've been saying and some of the words I've been using and all that? I probably will cool it out for a little bit. And I don't think that that's going to like kill the show. I think that'll be okay. And then, 6 months from now, you see where the temperature of Barstool and Penn and the world is. And you adapt accordingly. This is what we've been doing the whole time. In the very beginning, there was no adaptation. A couple years into Me Too, we adapted. A few years into cancel culture, we adapted. Into the Trump era, we adapted. You adapt and you keep it moving. And you figure out ways to still entertain without, pissing off the major extremes of either political party or either law entity or any fan base or whatever. It's what we've always been doing.
I think I am going to adapt by pushing one sketch back a little bit.
Probably a good idea. Probably a decent idea.
Not off. We'll put it back a month.
Just postpone. Little PPD.
The
I don't know. It's fucking funny, dude.
one we have to do arts and crafts for?
Yeah. That's a funny sketch, dude.
I say let it fly.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like, all right, if Hamilton's in, I'm in.
I was just saying, if Nick Hammy says let it rip, you can let it rip.
It's funny, dude. It's funny. We're gonna it's funny. I don't know what to tell you. It's funny. It's gonna be funny. Maybe I'll get fired, but it's gonna be funny.
Hey, that would be really funny. If you get fired, that would be very funny.
That'd be hilarious. That would be really funny.
Really funny.
You have full permission to 100% laugh and make fun of me if this sketch comes out. I think we're doing it. No, I actually think it's next episode anyway. Pavs.
It is if it was funny enough, it was gonna go on this one. It was too funny to move to the next episode. It was going out in a week. So I think the sooner the better for this one. So we'll put it out next week.
Okay. It's funny. It's funny, man. It's a funny sketch.
It's funny. It's really funny.
Well, anyway, free Mincy. I'm sure he'll land on his feet somewhere. And we'll see we'll see where it comes. But I think this is, one of those, it'll be one of the chapters in the book. And there's no way to tell exactly the fallout until, some time has passed. But in the meantime, we'll always have a few episodes of Wake Up with Mincy and a whole bunch of, we will always have the bobblehead video courtside at the Pelicans game, which might be the funniest thing on the internet. And so if that's the case, Mincy was one of those, what's it called? I burned twice as bright, half as long, or whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
That goddamn bobblehead with that styrofoam like falling in that guy's mouth while he ripped it apart. If that's all, if nothing else comes out of Ben Mintz, that video cements his legacy.
And also the Bone Thugs one.
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. I just had a good, true blue road rage incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was right by the garage. I mean, we're talking like next to each other, windows down, screaming at each other. He ended up getting out of the car, like white trash, cops type shit. It was wild. Well, I was white, but I'm white trash. He's not. It was right coming across 8th Avenue. And we were all driving. It was like moving. And then something like, I don't know, somebody started to cross the street or something happened where all of a sudden it was a dead stop. We were both going to block the box. So I was in front and I pulled off to the right of like the last guy. And he pulled off to the left. So that, we wouldn't block when it goes green. In my world, whoever was in the front then joins back in first.
Makes sense.
And I also don't really care about that, but this guy immediately like tries to like ram his nose in. But since I was in front, I had like a little bit of an edge. And then once you're an asshole, then I'm an asshole back. So I was just like not letting it happen. So I just had the edge the whole time. And I just like kept like slowly going. And then he starts honking and then I'm really not going to stop. So we're barely moving. I'm just like sitting on my phone. I'm watching this guy have you seen the guy who does all the Lil Jon remixes?
No.
He does From the Window to the Wall, but just in every version of every song ever.
And I swear to God, if I was Ed Sheeran, I would call him into court because it's like any song can be sung in any way. He does From the Window to the Wall to the Sweatshirt Down My Balls, Skeet Skeet Motherfucker in every song you've ever heard. We Didn't Start the Fire, Dust in the Wind, Sound of Silence. It's very funny.
I liked Ed Sheeran, by the way, saying he's going to quit music.
Hell yeah.
You find out how important you are real quick.
Why were people?
Just depending on what the jury does. Where it's like,
Oh yeah.
I'm
Like if you're an Ed
guilty,
Sheeran.
I'm done making songs.
I
It's like,
wonder.
I don't really care.
I wonder if that, as you know, we're now jury experts from jury duty. I wonder if that affects.
That would sway me.
Like, yeah, I'd be like, well, I'm just gonna like, even if I was like, yeah, you stole that shit. I want him to keep making songs.
Yeah.
I'm now.
No more tenor free C.
Yeah,
he's
you win.
fine.
Yeah.
It's also sorry to interrupt. Real weirdly, I like him and the woman suing him are like hugging and like embracing before court and stuff like that.
Oh, that's weird.
It's very weird. I guess.
What really makes a big difference is the fact that it's Martin Gaye's estate, because then
Yeah,
it just
so-
feels like, I don't know. If you stole my song from me, I'd be pissed. If my kids were like mad that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if anything, I would want my kids to be like, it's awesome. You know, like my dad's music lives on or some shit.
I didn't also know that he's been bringing his guitar to court and just playing different songs.
Hell yeah.
Like being like, look, I can do this. Basically, what you're saying, like, look, I can do this way.
I can sing Thinking Out Loud to any song.
If I was the jury, I'd be like, I need Ed Sheeran to do this a couple of times.
I'm not exactly sure yet. Can I bring my daughters? Can I film? Can I?
Excuse me, Your Honor. Run it back.
that we've been blessed with celebrity court trials this year.
What else was there?
We got Johnny Depp, we had Gwyneth
Oh,
Paltrow, and now we get Ed
Yeah,
Sheeran.
that's right.
If Ed Sheeran's gonna get cocky and do shit like that,
Yeah.
that could become a lot of fun.
You guys
The-
will lose this forever.
The absolute like eye test, open and shut of that case is, did like anybody in the world for the first like 5 years that song was out ever go, oh, he ripped that from Martin Gaye?
I'm sure some people. did, but
I'm
no
sure like the
one-
musical like experts with their
Right.
ear, and obviously the Martin Gaye estate did,
Yeah.
but like the general vibe, like when Miley Cyrus puts out Flowers, everyone was like, oh, that's like the Bruno Mars song. Like everybody
Right.
hears it and knows it. Nobody in the world said that.
Not
And
to my recollection. No.
also, why now? Or is it like blue red tape that took like forever to get into the court?
I don't
'Cause
know
it's like
much about it.
the shit was old, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it gets to the point where like he's like trying to get around, and I also know this street because I drive on it every day, and I know that I've got the city bikes coming up on his left to help me. So I was like, I'm not losing this battle. You're gonna eventually run into the city bike parking things, and you're fucked. So they roll down their window, and I rolled down mine. I was like, what's the deal? And I got called a bitch ass Mincy many, many times. And his girl was like flipping me off, and they were like, you're being a dickhead. And I was like, we both did the same thing. We both know what we did. We were in the intersection we shouldn't have been, so we pulled off to the side, and then you have to come back in. We both did that. There was no reason you should be in front of me. And the fact he kept going, if I saw you, I would have let you in. I was like, you obviously saw me because you were honking at me and fighting me. So no, you didn't see me. I knew exactly what you were doing. You knew exactly what I was doing. You just didn't want it. You wanted to be in front, and you don't deserve to be in front. So I like win the battle because he hits the city bikes, which I knew was going to happen. And then I'm like, all right, whatever, it's over. At this point, I'm like 100 feet away from the garage I park in, but there's more traffic. And then he pulls up the other side where there's some room, and he like zips up and parks his car and gets out. And I was like, well, this is either where like this story gets real fun, or he just takes out a gun and shoots me. Because at this day and age, it's really just not even worth any sort of like fighting over a parking spot or anything, because someone will just fucking take a gun and shoot you. And we just like started hashing out again, and I was like, I tried to, I stuck my hand in it. I was like, bro, come on, like we were both being stupid, whatever. This is silly. Like I'm in the right, but whatever. And he was like, I'm not giving you a dab. So I'm like, okay, fine. He said something. I don't know if he said you got mad scared when I got out of my car, making fun of me, or I thought he said something about me being scary. He was like, that was scary, and I was like, I don't know, none of this is fucking scary. Who gives a shit? But his girlfriend got out of the car too, and the whole thing ended with just those two fighting because he was like, "Get back in the car! What are you doing?" And she was like, "I'm fine, I'm fine." And I just like casually like just pulled into my garage, just knowing that I just ruined that guy's day because he's fighting with his girlfriend for the rest of the fucking day as they go to work or whatever. So if that was you, it got my blood flowing.
Sounds like a KFC Radio listener.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever hear that. But I mean, window to window, like this close, like fucking. Could have easily touched each other if we wanted to. I know they wanted me to say something racist, and I was like, it's never gonna happen.
I've never been in a situation like that close, because I'd just be like, go ahead, I'm not gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I do when I'm having my own road rage from a distance, I do say racial slurs, but not not the kind you're thinking of. I describe their car, but I say it in a tone that it sounds like a racial slur.
Oh, okay.
Like, you fucking Camry.
These fucking Camrys.
Yeah.
I hate these Camrys.
Oh, my God.
Just a couple Corollas up there.
In Tucson? God, I hate Tucsons.
That's funny. You can really make any word racial, can't you?
Yeah.
Just put some stank on it.
Dude, this fucking Cherokee. Cherokees are all...
Well, that one. That might be a real one. Dude, that is...
I started doing it when I was really young, and I was like, I don't know why. Fuck you.
How old is
Wrangler?
young? Like when you were driving?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
not like a
like
little
like
kid,
18.
but you had your own car.
Back up,
Fucking
Wrangler.
Get out of here, you fucking G-Wagons.
I don't know why, but I always I would hear it. I would say it in my car. I'm like, ooh, that's got some stank on it.
What do you think it is? Like, I mean, I don't care for any sort of altercation, otherwise, and I think most people are that way, but like, why is road rage a thing? Why do people like? Is it because
probably because it's one of the few places you feel safe being so angry? You have the protection of your car, at least.
Yes. Yeah, you have some sort of barrier, so you can be a tough guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, because it's like a dog at a cage. Like, you ever seen like the videos of like the dog? Like,
yeah, and then take them out. They're just
quiet.
yeah.
But the second the window comes down and the door
Right.
opens, like, ooh, never mind. This
Right.
is fucking. This got real fast.
But it's also like, especially. I mean, a road rage incident in Manhattan traffic is like. It's asinine. It's just like you want to be like 20 feet further than you are while you slowly creep up.
There's a
it
whole
makes
Seinfeld
no
episode
fucking
about it.
sense.
Where
Yeah,
they fight for like the whole episode.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like the fact that it was enough to be an episode of television, and it's enough that like everybody has had an experience, or you completely change like your entire persona. Well, I don't know. Is there like? I guess there's like bicycle rage, right? The cyclists are always fighting.
Oh yes.
Is there like
someone actually? I was standing in the bike lane because I always stand in the bike lane because fuck them. I don't ever
fucking cyclists.
I'm anti-sidewalk. I'm just like I'm so anti-sidewalk. I become anti-bike. Well, I'm anti-bike, so I am anti-sidewalk. I will stand in the middle of the bike lane.
You lost me
every single time. If I'm waiting across the street.
What if they're flying and they're like ding 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 ding? You stay right there
right away.
Is that true?
Pedestrians always have
in the bike lane.
Yeah, in the middle of the road too. You can't hit me. It's your fault if you hit me.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
For the pedestrian to be at fault if he gets hit in the street. You're supposed to be paying attention.
Right.
You're the
right.
driver.
But like if you just jump out in a red light, like
yeah, I think there's some leeway there.
Yeah.
But no, I stay. Yeah, I don't jump out. I just make myself known. I stand right in the middle.
You get hit by one of those guys on like a motorbike or just one of those cyclists who are moving.
I pray for the day.
You're pretty solid. You would.
But I'd also just jump up and like close on against my whole.
Oh yeah. like you think you would know once it's past the point of no return? Like you'd have enough reaction time to be like, all right, it's on. So now I'm going to clothesline you.
Yeah, because you kind of have like the whole street, right? Like you're like, oh, he's going through that. All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Just leave a little shoulder in there.
I was like, it was like 18th Street the other day. I was just standing in the middle of the bike lane. Like 3 cyclists came by, like in a row, like bike lane. I just went, I don't care. I went full Cutler on him.
How about that guy in Austin who went on your left and he wasn't on my left?
Yeah. He was
on my right.
Yeah.
And if I had listened,
no, he was saying on your right, whatever. It was.
Yeah, whatever it was. But if I had listened to him and like moved that way, we would have fucking crashed.
Yeah.
Dumb dickhead.
He was the perfect example of a bicyclist.
Yeah.
He was driving on a one-way,
the
wrong way on the sidewalk.
Like going way too fast.
We're the ones in the way.
Right. I at least respect like the nerdy cyclists who are like doing the hands and all that shit. Like it's like the delivery guys and the people who are just kind of like, I don't know, BMX biking almost, just like fucking whipping around. And I'm like, you're being the asshole.
Every time I see a cyclist break the law, I almost call the police. I'll do it.
That'll be your old man. That'll be your Umarell.
Dude.
Instead of like complaining about construction sites, you will just call the cops on cyclists.
They got me suspended from Twitter for 10 days. I will get at least 50 of you arrested.
When it's all said and done.
I will win this war.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Revenge best served cold, but you are going to jail for that one.
You fucking cyclist.
Dirty fucking
Goddamn
cyclists.
bikers.
I'll teach you cyclists a lesson. We got Rory and Mal on the show today. Rory and Mal were on the Joe Budden show, and they broke up a couple years ago now, I guess it is, and they started their own thing. So they'll be on the show. We'll get into some of the asshole and voicemails. We've also got the news of the year: Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah.
Suspicion of sexual battery, which I think the overwhelming reaction from that video from people was probably like,
I
didn't
didn't
see that
watch
coming.
the video.
You
think everyone thought he was gay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit. My first reaction was like, I would not have. This was not on my bingo card, But okay. But then you know what? It kind of does make sense too, because I think that can go both ways. Where they're like, I know gay guys who think that because they're gay, they can just like touch everyone and do everything.
Yeah.
Like they work here. They can say whatever they want, do whatever they want. So then it becomes
my dick
a thing.
a million times.
All the fucking time. But that was. It was weird when that video came out. That was February 23rd. And I remember being like, yeah, no, that's it. That's like, that wasn't like, gray area. That was like black and white. She was like pushing him away. He was like grabbing her head. She had to like wipe her mouth and shit. He came back for more. I remember being like, this should be a crime. And it turned out to be, but it was weird that it took this long. It just kind of disappeared for a while. Nobody cared. And then he got booked for it. And I know they're brothers, but I feel like Patrick Mahomes is probably like finally.
He has to get it together.
Yeah, like I can't tell my brother to stop doing TikToks. I can't tell my brother to not come to my games. I can't tell my brother to like stop having fun with my wife. I can tell my brother, you got to lay low now because you're a fucking sexual deviant.
Yeah.
Like innocent or guilty, like that's gonna follow you, and people are gonna, it's gonna be a thing. So you got to disappear now, bro.
No more TikTok.
No more none of that shit.
Grave.
Yeah. Like he that dude was just a calamity of errors. I remember thinking like I don't like him because he just is like
Yeah, he's annoying.
It was annoying, but I thought it was bizarre. I've always thought it's bizarre how much hate he and Brittany got, like on just a human level. People got like. Yeah, all right. Like he's annoying with his TikToks. There's something about her that's a little grating. The way she cheers, she's a little bit in your face. Whatever.
They both look like shit at the Met Gala too. Just saying.
Yeah,
Tom
that
Brady
was,
and Giselle would never.
No, that was, bro. That looked like me in 03 going to prom.
Yeah.
Like, that was not a good look. But people want to see those two dead, And I was always like, that's a little weird.
The world, you really hated when you sexually assault somebody and the reaction is, yes,
we got him.
Got him.
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Like there was also that incident where he was like a dickhead to a bunch of waiters that came out, and there was a couple stories like about a bunch of people corroborated that. So it was like, oh, okay, no, this guy's like, he's an asshole to people. And then this one is like the real deal.
Do you think
just a weird video?
When someone asked the Mahomes parents who their favorite kid is, do you think they pretend they don't know?
Yo, bro, that's one of those instances
they're like,
where
we love them all equally,
Yo.
and like they try and say it with a straight face.
Jackson steps up and goes, "Well, we know the answer. Come on." Like that's the one where you save yourself the embarrassment.
And who's your favorite? Like, well, Patrick is one of the greatest football players of all time.
It's the half a billionaire.
Jackson, he is affectionate.
Yeah, no, that has there ever been? Let's try to think. I'm trying to think of the families that have multiple famous people.
My favorite family is the Gretzkys. I feel bad bringing them up with this, but Wayne and Brett Gretzky.
What did Brett do?
Nothing. But that's why I feel bad bringing them up. But the NHL is pretty fraternal and
Yeah.
I mean as a lot of sports are, but I think the NHL more so than others.
Yeah.
So there have been a lot of brothers who played the NHL. The most points combined are the Gretzky's.
Because you have like one.
Is 6.
I'd rather have 0 than
I think
6.
it's 6. Make sure it's Brett.
If you are a Gretzky, I'd rather just sell cars. I'd rather just like manage my brother's career or something. Like I'll be your assistant, Wayne. 6. So what do they have combined? Like
it's like
2,506.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like, come on.
That's fucking great, man.
And then he went on to later captain the
USA team or something?
no, the fucking garbage team. The one the documentary is about.
Oh yeah.
Trashers, Danbury Trashers.
Right.
He was
What, the mob plays funding or
Yeah,
whatever, right?
he was the captain.
Hell
Yeah. He had 5 total. And is it Brett?
It is Brent.
Brent.
Brent Gretzky.
Brent, Keith, Kim, Glenn.
And
All siblings.
And then Wayne. So 5 total.
5.
So 4
And he's the youngest?
No. How many points did Brent Gretzky have in his career? In his NHL career?
What's he look that up for?
1.
One
no.
NHL point?
I could have sworn it was. I thought it was sub 10, but I didn't think it was 1.
That's what I got.
Brent
I
Gritz.
mean, you might be right, but
NHL stats. I mean, what does that mean? He has 1 assist?
He's got 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points.
4 points.
4
Okay.
points.
Yeah.
4 points. Yeah. The two
Tampa
brothers,
Bay Lightning.
The two brothers combined for 2,934 points. He had 4.
That is spectacular. But by the way, yeah, look, I mean, he played from 87 to 06. He finished off his career for the Motor City Mechanics in the UHL. He played for a team in Austria, the Pensacola Ice Pilots in the ECHL. I mean, the hockey leagues are all over the place.
Yeah. That's my favorite with Merles. We got to have Merles on a Monday episode next
Hell
time he's
yeah.
in town. Merles just kept moving east, he said.
Yeah.
He's
like on the globe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he finished his career in Japan. He's like, every year I got worse, I just move east a little
Japan has hockey? Was he like the greatest player of all time over there?
I think Merle's played a few years in Japan.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he dominated. Japanese guys can't play hockey. That's hilarious. Japan. And then, like, that's it. Like, eventually you loop back around to
you gotta
fucking
be like
Vancouver.
California.
Yeah, you're like, I
Can't play
can't.
for the Kings.
I wonder, like, there had to be a run there with Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen where it was like, we know who dad loves the most.
Yeah.
But then probably flipped real quick.
What does Emilio do?
Now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he was an actor.
No, I know, but like, does he still act?
I'm sure he's in some shit here and there.
That surprisos me. That like that.
Actually, I
video
feel like we
just
would have
disappear.
seen.
Yeah, you would-
because this is such an era for like throwbacks and remakes and all that. That like I'm surprised there hasn't been a Mighty.
Oh
Ducks
wait, he
thing.
might be. No, he might be in the Mighty Ducks show. There's a Mighty Ducks show on Disney Plus. He might be in.
Oh right, okay,
yeah,
yeah, to make it at least make an appearance,
that
right?
would, yeah. I'm sure. I would guess he does the whole fucking thing.
I think he would want to. I wonder if Disney. I don't know.
That show, that movie, and you can do this with anything. I actually saw on Instagram the other day, like Gen Zers react to the plot of American Pie, and they're all like, "This is a crime."
Yeah.
But the premise of Mighty Ducks is still so funny. It's like,
Yeah,
a
like
lawyer,
drunk
got a
fucking-
DUI, and his punishment is he coaches a youth team.
drives the fucking
by the way.
He is in the show.
In the show,
Yeah.
drives a goddamn car on the fucking ice right away. Most reckless asshole ever.
But just like the judge,
Community
he's
service,
yeah,
children.
That is a good idea. He
Let's
should
suck.
coach a youth team.
I wonder what it was like when he was like, "I'm going to be Emilio Estevez, guys," and they were like, "Okay, we're going to be white guys in Hollywood."
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Good luck with that, dude. See you
He's ahead
fucking
of his
later.
time.
Yeah. Speaking of that, there was a tweet the other day that cracked me up and led me down a very funny rabbit hole. Remember the ozone layer? Remember the hole in the ozone?
Oh yeah.
We fixed it.
Really?
Like humans did it. We like it's not like sealed, but like we took steps and we did it. And I saw this because there was a tweet of like a young Gen X girl, Z, whatever, I don't know. And she said, how come women don't do their hair like this anymore? And it was these pictures from like these 70s and 80s and shit where it's like big, silly, like, but beautiful hair. And because it used like so much fucking hairspray.
Right.
And somebody replied, they were like, no joke, the reason why, and I don't know how true this is, but the tweet said, no joke, the reason why you don't see hair like this anymore is because of the ozone. And the kids and Twitter and shit were like, what the fuck does that mean? And they're like, there was a hole. And they told us you can't use hairspray. And I guess between like aerosol cans and whatever other steps we made as humans, we did it.
I'm glad they fixed it because I'll tell you what, I am ripping a new hole in it. I just.
What are you doing?
For like 3 years straight, my air conditioner's been on.
Oh yeah,
my windows
yeah.
open.
Yeah, see, so that's where I get a little bit like
the Freon's just
when
ripping
I hear about climate change and all that shit. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. We fixed the ozone hole. That was a big problem. We were told that was gonna like end the world. And then it just didn't. And apparently we fixed it. So, I don't know. Score one for the humans.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of everyone talking about how bad humans are for the earth and how we ruin everything and how all we do is take and we're some parasites. I don't know. The one time that they came to us and said, this is a real fucking problem, and they showed it to us, they weren't just like, we think it's a problem. Leonardo DiCaprio says so, and some chick from fucking Sweden says so on Twitter. They were like, look, it's a problem. We fixed it.
Yeah,
so fuck you guys.
We're like the human race. We're procrastinators, and
we waited to the last minute to do
global
homework.
Warming is our college final.
Yeah,
like we'll get it. We'll get to it. Don't worry.
You know, okay.
Push comes to shove, I'll pop some Adderall, clean my room, and I'll figure it out.
It's like yes, did like some cities like get whacked by hurricanes that never did before? Yes. Was there a couple like cities that like wiped out by tidal waves? Maybe.
Sure, we have 100-year storm every 3 months.
No,
whatever.
But it's not like we're gonna fail. That's like midterms didn't go so well.
Right.
When we're actually failing, when Manhattan floods, we'll figure it out. Right. And if we could fix the ozone, we could fix the climate change as well. We'll figure that shit out. But yeah, I mean, I have to imagine whatever cutting down on our aerosol can consumption did, we're putting back out there by everything else that we do. Because I mean, I leave that.
You think
I got central air, I got air conditioners, I got SUVs.
I'm gonna stop
being
at that start of spring, summer where you can do windows down and AC on. You think I'm gonna stop doing that?
That's one of the best times of the year.
That's crazy time.
One of the best.
Wait, no, I'm thinking the opposite. When windows down, heat on. That's the move.
Yeah, well, that's also just Manhattan. Like if you live in cities, just like the heat always blasts, so you're just fucking, you can't get away with that.
No, I mean car.
Oh, you're doing car?
Yeah,
okay.
I love a cruise with the windows down, like when the air is just getting a little frost to it. So I guess it's more fall.
You know what?
I'm
a big. My feet get cold, so I blast the heat down on my toes. But then I don't want the car hot. My feet want, so put those windows down. Let that shit melt out there. Come on. So I just think, or was the ozone hole? Did they sell as a bill of goods? How do we really, who could really, scientists told us, right? They also told us about vaccines and masks, John. We found out that they were lying about that. Who really knows what the ozone really even is?
Good question, Kevin. I think we're going to figure it out right here.
It was just like we heard so much about it. And then I guess they were just like, it's fixed, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. But you would think that there should have been like Ozone Day.
Yeah.
Like September 15th, 2005 or whatever the fuck, whatever. And it was like, we did it, guys.
VHS Day, Victory Over Hairspray Day.
VHS Day.
By the way, shout out Rhode Island. I think is still the only state that celebrates VJ Day. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's a little it's a little
Y'all
dicey.
remember that time we murdered 200,000 people?
Remember those war crimes?
Take the day off from school.
Remember when we committed a war crime and then did it again? Doubled up on them?
Remember when we melted the skin off little children?
Remember?
That was pretty dope, right?
Remember we went back to back on them? Put a little Drake back to back.
I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah. Oh, I don't know why I was going to say this. But I've started watching Love and Death. It's okay.
Really?
Yeah,
I had high hopes for that.
It's just really slow. Like I can see it as potential, but it does.
Jessica Biel one was good.
3 steps. There have already been 3 separate instances of a scene like this, and it makes me laugh every fucking time. I think they're doing it on purpose. I think they're being mean to Jesse Plemons.
Okay.
There will just be scenes like this, and it always just cuts the same. Hit play.
And I know that we said that falling in love is against the rules, but it's scary for me.
It's like, really? Yo.
Dude, like they'll like close up on how like gorgeous Elizabeth Olsen is, and then it just cuts to him like eating a fucking cannoli.
He is gruesome here.
He is.
And I know he's like a great actor who like I think he's lost weight, gained weight, done it all for the shows and shit, but like I don't know. I would be like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not looking like that for this show. I refuse to be that person for this show.
This was in
he
episode
is
2. I almost went back.
I'm
to
falling.
1 because
He's sitting there like you
literally
fall in love with me.
There's like a rapper. He's eating a cannoli in bed in a wife beater in the scene. And it's like, I just can't get enough of you. And that's every man. It makes no sense why women like us.
What are you girls thinking half the time? It's crazy. It is so rare that a guy is hot enough for a girl that he's with.
It never happened.
Like it's it's like the Brad Pitts of the world. It's the Gazelles. Otherwise, it's like you let that thing on top of you and inside of you regularly.
I've stopped a woman before when I took off my shirt and because she was like, "Oh my god," and I was like, "Oh, you shut up! You're fucking with me."
Yeah, come on.
Don't be a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
about it.
dude,
we all have mirrors,
bro. I have literally had women say to me before that they like my body.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, you don't.
Well, great. Now trust out the window in this relationship.
Yeah, I totally. I was like, now I question every single thing about you. Like, I thought it was cool that you found me attractive. Then you said I had a great body, and now I have to either question your intelligence, your faculties, your intelligence, your honesty. I question everything. Great. Or when like when a girl likes you, and then they like say someone in Hollywood that they like, and they're like, oh man, Danny Trejo is so hot. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
With the pockmarks?
Really?
And the prison tattoos?
Come on. That means, wait, what? That is a tough scene. Speaking of television, we'll and the younger generation ties nicely together with both of those things.
That's why I brought it up. I was trying to segue.
We got another writer's strike on our hands that I don't think this generation's ready for.
Yeah.
I don't think they remember Landry Clark killing a guy on Friday Night Lights.
Just killed the guy, and then they never talked of it again.
Never, because they were like, I don't know.
Mind you, it wasn't a murder. It was a completely justified killing, and his father was a sheriff, and he could have just called him and said,
it was a just killing.
Dad, I've stopped a rape, and the guy died.
And we're in Texas.
Can the
like we can figure this out?
Pick up his body, I guess. Whatever it is you
throw
do.
it in the fucking river and just never talk about this again.
Landry Clark killing the guy is the one that gets the attention from season 2. What's his name? Mexican kid. The tight end.
Santiago.
Yeah. Santiago just comes and goes.
That storyline. I'll give Friday Night Lights credit for. They're one of the only shows, and it's realistic because sports teams change over. The rosters change over.
Yeah.
But like by the end of it, you're rooting for fucking another Dillon Panthers team and the black quarterback, Michael B. Jordan, right? Yeah, I was gonna say. It's like, you would think to yourself, like, you need Jason Street and Riggins. And then it's like, all right, well I got Saracen. And then it just keeps going. But Santiago was crazy.
Yeah, Santiago was not.
Buddy Garrity just smuggled.
He can catch a pig.
Didn't Buddy Garrity just like smuggle him in from fucking South America or something like that?
It was
like an immigration issue, right?
Fake house and all that shit.
Yeah. But that was like the writers being like, we got to finish this by like midnight.
I think was Voodoo Tatum season 2 too?
Yeah.
He was
yeah. They were just like, we got to finish this by midnight. So he kills a rapist? Yeah. Okay, sounds good. I mean, season 4 of Lost, which was like the best season, got fucking axed in the middle of it.
And I don't believe that this is going to be, from what I've read, which isn't much, but a
long one.
I think it's not going to be quick. I think.
Oh, it is going to be long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it.
I think they said like come September, people will start really feeling it.
I think
that's a long time.
Think about how much has changed in television, and if writers' pay has not like been adjusting accordingly with streaming and all these new services and all that shit, it's crazy.
I thought their last strike was for streaming. It was not.
No,
so they haven't been getting like.
That's what I mean,
money.
Dude. Streaming, you just get paid like it's like I think it's like $5,500 for like the writers group or whatever it is. There's just like a number and that's it.
Yeah.
And so you write a hit series for streaming. that gets, you know, 1 billion Netflix signups, and it's just like doesn't matter.
No.
You don't get anything extra.
The
And I'm sure they're like, honestly, it's actually going to be very interesting. I'm sure there is some level of AI going on as well. I think studios are probably thinking that you'll be able to do automated writing soon enough.
I think that's crazy. I think if you tell people robots wrote this, I don't think they'll be as interested. I think it'll be.
I don't know if you tell them, but I think there's
But you
like
have
a
to
great
tell them
show.
in the credits.
I'm just fucking name your AI a fucking person's name. You know?
I think that would get found. I think the actors would be like,
I don't know, man. I'm sure they said the same shit about like animation. I'm sure they were like, you need like an artist to draw this, and it's like, no, you don't. You know?
But there's still an artist in animation.
I guess I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of that's like probably automated and jobbed out, and the computer does a lot of it. And you know, I'm sure there's someone controlling it, but I'm sure it's like, you know, there ain't people just drawing cartoons anymore, and I'm sure that was a big deal. There are, but it's not, you know,
like who, like someone didn't draw. I think I don't know. There's no reason to debate it. I don't know the answer. But I think it's if it lacks the human element, I don't think people will be as interested.
I mean, what if if that was just like the standard and it was just like, this is all television, you know, like it's not like you're just going to stop watching TV. I also don't think I think this is probably down the road. I don't think it's happening now, but I wonder if that's part of it too, where they're just like, you know, I also think so between streaming and just like how much shit is being put out, I think between how much talent, you use that word however you want, like, there used to be like a batch of Hollywood writers. I'm sure there are like brilliant people out there who are like, you know, we can replace you guys. We can find. I think there probably was a time where finding a non-union writer was a lot harder.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there's like still like I don't think studios and producers will work with non-union people, because then you're really like, then it's like you can never go back. You know what I mean? That's like beyond the point of no return. But if you found somebody like on the internet, you find one of these TikTok stars or whatever who's like brilliant, and it's like,
just did a sketch about this.
Oh yeah, did you?
Out of Order episode 3 comes out next week. We have a sketch
of somebody trying to be like a writer and they suck.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's what they're trying to do, and so I'm sure they're like, we'll go find somebody.
It's exactly this.
That's. I mean, could not be better timing. Did you? Was it because of the strike, or you just had an idea?
We had the idea anyway.
Because I didn't hear about this strike. I didn't really know it was coming.
I heard whispers, and then midnight,
and then it was just like boom,
we're all on strike.
Yeah, I feel like I would have heard of this like for months.
Yeah,
like, you know,
I like it was one of those things. Procrastination. It's like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it figured it out.
Because when like in sports, when there's a like a labor problem, like you hear about that shit like a like full season in advance. Like, it's coming. This was just like, as someone who like watches TV a lot, I was kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We're gonna lose all our television shows? But I think between
no Diplomat season 2,
all the streaming, any potential AI,
the first
different
strike was just about clips on YouTube. That's what they were.
There's so much more to worry about.
Crazy.
So if it took 100 days to hammer out like one issue, there's like 50.
Bro, you have to sign 1-year contracts. Like
crazy.
If you're we have a 1-year deal, because everything's gonna change in a year. It changes so fast now. Like you can't do you can't do another 10-year deal. It's gonna be completely different.
I also think the first go round was kind of, I think, a big rise of reality TV, because they just turned to people who were not writers. And that was when the world like needed to be like shown that reality TV was like a thing that they like. The world has already bought into reality TV.
Right.
So I'm sure there are a ton of executives being like, I'll do Love is Blind season 65 and I'll get my ratings.
We'll give them $50 and a fuck off.
We'll give them a couple thousand followers and they're happy. So like, peace. Not that I'm saying I side with them. I'm just saying that those are probably their standing points, where they're just like, this is the world now.
Yeah.
So there really is. I mean, I would imagine eventually some sort of supply and demand shit.
I think it's just best age for television, because there are all those popular reality shows. It's also the best TV's ever been. Yeah. And the most TV's ever been watched, and like
right,
iconic shows and stuff like that.
I mean, the mere fact that it's just like you're making tens of millions of dollars on your streaming service, and these are the people that create it.
Right.
So fucking pay them.
It's very simple.
It's like
it was like someone had all like what the CEOs made last year, and like you deal with every company, but it was like every CEO of every streaming service made like over 50 million last year.
The one at Discovery has a $300 million package.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stock. His salary that was a little misleading, but I respect what the writers are doing there. They put at the top. First of all, Discovery is like, I think that's Warner Brothers. Discovery is the like merger or whatever.
No, HBO too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's bad. Like that should be like HBO. You know what I mean? I was like, Discovery. Who the fuck gives a shit about that? But his salary is $4 million, and then he has a fuck ton of stock and bonuses. So, which may or may not be realized. So, but yeah, it's like I'm sure those writers would love $100 million in stock. Then take that too. Then you can offer me that, and it doesn't need to be salary. But I'm sure like
it is crazy too. What they do to writers. I was reading it was just a clip from an interview with the director of Ghosted, and he wasn't complaining really. He was kind of just saying
what's Ghosted?
That Ana de Armas, Chris Pratt, not Chris Pratt,
Okay,
Chris Evans one.
Okay.
I do not think it was very good. I haven't seen it, but I mean, those streaming services don't really produce good movies.
No,
it's
terrible.
Terrible.
I was like, this is what you guys are doing with the writers? What are you writing? What are you gonna do without the writers?
But it was like he was describing how he like had to start with like some like 5-minute iconic opener that it was like resembled some other iconic movie, and they were just like nah, you can't do that. It doesn't play. It won't play on TikTok. If you have like 30 seconds to get to the action.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, he's like, so I want people to watch my movie, so I just got rid of that.
Yeah. No, I mean that's where I wonder what happens to the whole system, because that's where I wonder like if there's going to be a writers guild and you're a part of that union, and then that union plays ball, like those guys, and because I'm sure the union is like the good guys, right? But I'm sure there's like union heads there who are fucking like TV studio scumbags as well. You know what I mean? And if the writers are in bed with the executives, and the executives are the ones telling you to just like make it be like dog shit that people watch, then like do people just not use the union, and you just have like you have independent projects? Like what we've seen, I think the whole world has moved away from music labels and all that sort of shit, where it's like, if you just have talented people who are just like, I'm going to make the movie the way I want it, and I found someone on the internet with money and talent who can bankroll it, whatever, do we even need unions and executives and studios and all that shit? I mean, the obvious answer is probably still at this point, yes. But it's like, I think more than ever, you can probably circumvent both of those things.
Yeah,
the
but
writer,
also, like,
a writers union and a studio, I think, are becoming less and less necessary.
Yeah, I still think with movies, I think the distribution becomes a big thing. Like, I mean, one of my favorite comics, James A. Caster, has a special on Vimeo, and I still haven't watched it because I'm not going to watch it.
Right, because you just need to be on the major channels. But if it comes down to a strike and like egos and crazy terms that your worlds apart, I wonder how many people would like. If there was a talented person on the internet and they went to you and were like, all right, we'll just do it with you, would people like respect the writers union enough to be like, I can't like cross the union?
Yeah.
I don't think
I think a lot. I think
if like a studio went to like a random person and was like, who like somebody who never
someone who's never had anything and needs money. Yeah. I was thinking you meant like actors who. No.
Like I'm saying, we just have a proliferation of people you can find on the internet now who have a big following. People find them funny, all that shit. And it's just like, okay, we're going to go with this person now who was a fucking accountant a minute ago. And now is like, okay, I'll do it for $10 million or $5 million or $50,000 or $500 or whatever, I
think what would come of that if it happened is you'd find one or two incredibly unique and actually good things, and then you'd find 100,000 pieces of shit, and you'd be
but
like,
is that but I almost feel like that's where like the world's at right now with the unions and the studios. It's like it's mostly garbage and a couple good things. So it's like it's already shitty. I mean, the world, if you think about it, the world has already been complaining about its remakes and Marvel movies and whatever.
But that's
else.
not writers. That's production. This is all we're making because this is what makes money.
Right, but that's where it's not like we are in some like golden era of writing where they can be like, we hold all the power. It's like, we already have not been using your writing.
Yeah.
You know, we've already said we don't need in-depth writing. We need like fucking bells and whistles for 30 seconds on TikTok. And so it's like, I'm sure these guys are just like, I don't know. We don't need you.
I guess someone's
I
gonna
wonder,
write it still.
I wonder if, what do you think the most missed show will be if it doesn't continue to air?
Probably Game of Thrones just because it has
Succession,
that,
Game of Thrones, like
Succession's
Succession's
done.
ending,
Yeah.
so they're probably like let's get Succession done. With this. Yeah, but even that, I don't know. It's like there's not one that when you run through the list of 07 of all the shows that were affected, and some of that's a little bit like one of the things that were like season 2 of Breaking Bad was altered. It's like it was altered. It changed. It wasn't like ruined or anything. I think they said Scrubs, the final seasons of Scrubs were
that season of Scrubs is tough.
but they like axed it on NBC, but then ABC picked it up, and I think they just did it anyway, or something like that. So it's like some of those things are like it was delayed or changed, but it's not necessarily as. It was just it was more that you know who really got fucking hammered were the late night people, because all of them except for Conan got exposed as like, you're not funny without your writers.
Yeah.
You can't do shit without your writers.
I saw the clip the other day of Conan would just spin his wedding ring.
The best, the best. I do remember that. I never,
time.
I never watched. That was funny. Like that is kind of interesting though, because that was almost like a look into the future, where it was like, you know, is like a late night monologue with like a boom funny, or is like Conan trying to spin his ring and getting excited about it fun? Like that's
funny.
Because of the circumstances.
Right.
But I'm saying like that is the more, you know, that was almost like what was going on during the pandemic and shit, where it was like weird, zany shit that regular people are doing, and you find,
but I also think that
you find
stuff
humor
that,
and entertainment in those things that,
but the stuff that's born of that gets tiring very fast. Like
eventually you're like, all right, trick shots are fucking stupid.
Even in the pandemic, I think the main one was that like people started doing like feel good shows again because like everyone was down.
And that shit got boring real fast.
Everyone's like, "Fuck Ted Lasso!" Like,
yo, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso season 3 is maybe the worst television I've ever watched.
I watched one episode.
It is so bad.
I can't believe I looked up to this, man.
Bro, people love conflict
you were
and shit.
Down deep when you were like Ted Lasso. Dude,
he gets the boss biscuits. It's funny.
You know how down bad we were. We were like a fucking show. And I still like. I mean, you know, I've never gone to rewatch it, but in the moment, I loved Ted Lasso. And we were like, this show, based on the premise of an NBC Sports commercial, is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. That's also the perfect example of things that should just be one season, or even like just a goddamn movie or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's always when they try to stretch it. And that's actually part of like the negotiations all the time, is how many episodes things need to be. I will say the one thing that I think I'm like firmly on the side of the writers. The one thing I think I've always thought was crazy, and it sounds like this is part of the new thing, is about like what makes it to pilot and what doesn't. And like the writers are complaining that the studios, I think this is all just from like a couple articles, so I don't know if I have all the specifics correct, but it used to be like you have an idea and some guys write a script, and then you have a pilot. And you go. And now studio execs want like 2 or 3 more scripts to prove that it's a hit. That sounds okay to me. Like the amount of shit that we've heard over the years from comics and writers coming in here being like, oh, I wrote like a script and they gave me like a huge advance and then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like I would probably put an end to that if I was the studios. I'd be like, we're not doing that anymore. That's crazy. We're just handing out shows that we never do. And we gave you $1 million and you $1 million and then we just flush it all down the toilet. We're going to stop doing that. I don't think that's crazy. I think you should have to write more than like one episode before a whole series gets greenlit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also think if you don't make it, I have no idea what the rules are about anything. But like if you don't make it, then I get it back.
Yeah, it's an advance. Yeah, it's like an advance. You can spend it if you want, but this money, if we don't make it to season 2 or whatever, we don't hit a certain rating or some shit. But I'm sure that's all the kind of shit that these people are arguing over. I just if it took a long time back then when life was simple.
Yeah, I would imagine it takes.
I mean, and life was like pretty pretty like cohesive, and people like, I mean, everybody's at odds over everything now. You're telling me that like politics is not heavy involved in big wig studios and like liberal writers and shit like that. Like I don't think this is ending like ever. So if 07 gave the rise to like reality TV, you know, I don't know, buckle up for like TikTok shows and shit like that. Shit that's gonna be real garbage.
I will not unbuckle. I will not buckle up. I will unbuckle and I will drive off a cliff.
Like there is reality TV show that has, you know, it's all trashy, but there's like some good ideas and some good hosts, and you find a couple, you know, there's like the reality TV show like Legends, or like, you know, Johnny Bananas, and the people you remember, you know. And then there's like the garbage of it, and like what's like a step down from that? Well, that's gonna be
not excited
bad.
to find out.
But it like I'm sure there'll be people like, I don't know. There were people turn to reality TV show and like it, you know. So if you turn to
podcast,
if yeah, please. I'm sure like, you know, they're gonna go to Alex Earl and be like, you want a show? Here you go. It's like, I don't know. Can that girl carry a fucking
they tried
television
that
show?
with D'Amelio's, right? That didn't work.
Yeah, but if it's the only thing on television, you know, it's like the only thing people can watch.
Well, I guess that's the thing. I'll just watch old shows.
I guess at the time
you
you
really
really
any money for it.
I guess at the time you couldn't really. I think DVDs were a part of that last one too. I think
really?
Because I think that was part of it, is like people are starting to watch old DVDs, and we should get money for that. So I think that was 07 as well. But now that you can just watch old things, maybe it'll just be like, I don't know. That would scare me if I was a writer. I'd be like we're gonna strike. We're not gonna make anything new. It's like, I don't know anybody who watches anything new anyway. Yeah. They're just gonna keep watching The Office. That's all they do anyway. So I don't know. Who do you think wins?
Writers.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like they'll get what they want?
I mean, it's like any negotiation, but I think the writers will get a lot more money. Yeah.
And you think it'll be like a loss for the, like, when the last one settled, who like was considered the winner?
I haven't the fantasy. I would guess writers, but I mean, like, because you
wonder.
wouldn't go back unless you were happy with it, right? I mean,
well, yeah,
again, it's a negotiation.
But like,
Everyone's
that's what I
gonna be
mean.
a little
Like,
upset, but
like if you ask for 100 and I say like 42, and you take that, it's like technically, you know, we came out ahead of that. You know what I mean? So like, unless it's like a straight 50-50 split, like meet you halfway, somebody's gonna come out ahead, and I wonder who has the power like in today's society. It'll be very interesting to see, because I wonder if it's like, I think we've been seeing, you know, more and more that the talent, like people, are kind of what drives things, but do like, you know, infinite money and egos and famous people just always end up winning.
I mean, I think the writers will win because the actors are on their side, and they're like, we're not doing shit.
Yeah, yeah. It is crazy that they
and the
like,
actors.
It shouldn't.
The Actors Guild goes on strike June 30th. I think.
I saw Sam Morril had a good tweet where he's like, actors ain't shit. He's like, writers are everything.
Right.
They're child actors. There are no child writers. But yeah, it's like, I guess as soon as executives start to lose money is when they start to change their tune, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder how long that takes, because if, you know, people, it's like, are you gonna like stop paying your subscriptions? Probably not, right? So
I'm thinking about bailing on Netflix. I got nothing on Netflix anymore. I don't watch Netflix ever.
I still got Love Is Blind. Netflix is doing fine. As long as they got a couple of those, they'll be fine. I don't think anybody will like. I'm
not actually going to do it because it's like $10 a month.
Yeah,
but
that's what's interesting though, because it's like, when there's no new TV, if you're not putting on the television, you're not getting advertising and shit, they probably lost money. But like, people will just continue to pay their subscriptions and watch old stuff. They'll probably be like, I don't know, all right, maybe we're not getting like as many new subscriptions, but we're good.
Yeah.
And then what? I don't know. I would be scared. If I was a writer, I'd be looking to the union reps, being like, are we sure about this? Is this gonna work?
I think, because again, you have the actors. Like, you have the face of Hollywood.
They're writing their I guess average salary or whatever went down 4%.
Yeah.
And that was not adjusting for inflation. So when you adjust it for inflation, it's down like 23%. How the fuck they ever let it go down in the first place is crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be like if all of a sudden baseball players and basketball players and shit were making less money. Like, what were their union reps doing when that happened?
That's why you can't do 10-year deals. You have to do 1-year deals.
Yeah,
They're
like
gonna do 1 year for each,
never. Yeah, like never anything long term like that. Because to lose money in this era of entertainment is like people like us are getting paid. It's crazy. So the talented people, hopefully they make a much better deal, because that shit is about as unfriendly as a talent deal as like exists right now. So fuck the studios. I wonder if there is something that like people will do, but I don't foresee that. Like, do you think like consumers would, if writers and actors said like cancel your subscriptions?
No,
Would they do
I
it?
saw one tweet that was like, it was a writer and he's like, dude, no, we're home watching TV too. Watch TV. Because it was like, are we supposed to stop watching? It was like, no, watch TV.
Right. Am I the asshole? Let's get into it. We got a couple from our card game on sale now. We got 500 of the biggest asshole scenarios from our personal experiences, from the viral ones on the internet, from the minds, the deranged minds of everyone on KFC Radio. We made up a bunch. There's also different gameplay. You can sit down and play with your friends, and you can win tokens, and there's
we just sat down and played it for a commercial, and I was like, oh shit, this is really fun.
We haven't actually played our own game, and when we did it, I was like, fuck, this is fun. So I just grabbed 2 more because I can't find the ones we just did. So let's begin. I remember this one. I snuck microdoses of edibles into the food at a party because everyone said they wanted to try it, but everyone was too scared to actually do it. That one is straight from the Feitelberg playbook.
I am pro team poison your friends.
Clearly you are.
I
You
have said
did it.
that forever. I read it in like a 1970s Housewives How to Have a Good Party thing once, and it was just
Sneak your guess
it was
drugs.
just put extra alcohol in the juice.
Well, that
And
is honestly, if you think about life, put extra alcohol in the juice. You know, like that's
just
life.
like, here's the fucking virgin fruit bowl,
Oh, never mind.
punch bowl. Guess what? It's
Yeah.
not virgin.
Yeah.
And guess what? We're all gonna have a lot more fucking fun.
Yeah, here's this brownie.
There's also,
12
mind
hours
you,
later, you're going to be playing Mario Kart and screaming the noises.
yeah.
under
In
the
my
table
in
for-
my story, no one else ate it, and I just kept eating it to prove that it
That
was
it was
fine.
not laced.
When you look like me, people are like, you definitely fucking poisoned this.
Let me tell you something. If somebody walks up to you nowadays with a gummy or a brownie and says, "Eat this,"
Yeah.
you go, "That's drugs."
Yeah, it was banana bread, but it was. I just ate like 4 slices of laced banana bread,
That'll do it.
and was just like running around the apartment, like it was Mario Kart.
I think you were making the star noise.
Yeah. It was. It was. I had a
Shut
great-
the fuck up.
I was slamming cabinets. I don't know why. Not like angrily, just like ba bum ba bum ba bum peaches.
So, yeah, you're definitively an asshole.
I don't
But-
think so. I
Well,
mean,
like-
I think I'm
like
an
you were
asshole
behaving
because
like an asshole.
they didn't eat it.
Oh.
They're the assholes for not eating it, thus making me
you
an
look
asshole.
like an asshole. Because if they were doing everything along with you and they were just cool,
Then
and
we're just
ate
having
it,
a great night.
No one's an
It
asshole.
was like
Everyone's having
4
fun.
a.m.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
was.
everybody. If only one person does drugs, he's the asshole. If everybody does drugs, nobody's the asshole.
It's right.
Wise words, you know, like Confucius says.
I'm gonna sneak in. Am I the asshole in right now? Because I feel like I should have addressed it earlier, but whatever. Ponytail.
You're an asshole. Yeah, you gotta cut it. You gotta cut it.
Well, I'm cutting it tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's why you gotta take the convertible for a ride before the winter comes. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. I
so
hear you. It's gotta go. It's one of those things. It actually does not look bad. It's just your whole existence. Like the clothes that should look bad don't, and the hair that should look. You should be gross and sweaty, and you should be hairy. You're not. You know what I mean? All these things are just like, nope, that's not for him. It doesn't look bad. You'll look back on it and go, why didn't anybody tell me?
Yeah.
You know what the problem is? It's not the ponytail. It's these things.
Right.
These are super.
I
these
do,
look-
and
these
I
look
tried
Jewish.
to do the
It
ponytail like
looks
3
very-
times, and it keeps falling.
Well,
These
it's just not long enough.
those don't fall. Those
You need
fall
like
down.
hair clips, like a chick. They
Yeah.
put the ponytail in the back and the clips on the side. Those look very Jewish, like the guys with the curls on the
Oh,
side.
bro,
because they also hook around, so it looks like you're almost doing it intentionally. Like, is that guy?
I am.
hair
I'm
hooks or
trying to
something?
put it behind my ear.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Doing this, by the way, asshole.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
This guy, nobody likes you.
I'm gonna try and find this picture. There's no chance I'm able to find it.
Cut too, bro.
But I took a picture like after I got out of the shower one morning. Yeah, oh no, I found it pretty quick. Like this just happened after I got out of the shower. That's
yeah.
the most Jewish thing.
Yeah, no, that's super Jew. I mean, a guy named Feitelberg with that curly hair, super Jew.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was like a piece of, I don't know what kind of pasta is that, but like
Fusilli or some shit.
where you just kind of we pull it. It's a Jerry
Boing,
curl.
boing.
It looks like
Yeah,
a Jerry
yeah,
curl.
yeah. Yeah, you look like you have a Jerry curl.
But yeah, it's off as you watch this.
Right now, bro.
It's getting cut off.
That's long for me. But yeah, the once I heard, we talked about it at the live show. You didn't say it on the air. Once I heard about the neck situation.
Yeah, but it's not that bad anymore. It was just that one.
Don't you
thing.
show me your neck? Don't
Why?
you do it? Because I don't want to look at your pimply neck. Is that a birthmark?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know about the Feitelberg tornado?
Feitelberg tornado.
All the men have it.
I think I do. Really?
Yeah, we all have this like red
In the
birthmark.
same spot.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's wildly interesting.
Really? That was very genuine.
Because obviously it's genetic, but like I would think like, oh, we get our skin gets birthmarks or something like that. The same spot.
Same. We all have this triangle in the back of our necks.
You sure that your dad didn't just brand you kids or something? Because that seems a little weird.
It's just the men.
Again.
we had
weird.
a Spartan type thing.
Yeah,
all right, this one's good.
Your dad did something stupid one night and was like, well, if I have this, they're all going to have it. Burning little babies.
Yeah. You never seen that?
I have seen it. Now that I think about it, I just didn't think. I don't know. His neck's hot or he's flush or something like that. But now that I think of like in summertime, like t-shirts, I've definitely seen it. But no, I mean, once you said you had pimples on your neck,
I had this one massive pimple. Again, you can look at my neck; it's not that bad. It's like it's still a little bump over here, but it wasn't. I was playing it up a bit. It wasn't like covered in pimples, but I had a pimple on the back of my neck.
Let me ask you a question. Disgusting question. You know how I like to watch that shit, right?
Yeah.
How gross and how bad of a move is it to do content with that?
Oh God, fucking animal. I'm sure it's great.
That's the thing. Like there's this guy who does it and he's funny with it. All he does is like narrate it. He's just like, "Ooh, get the oh shit, that's a big one, girl. Oh, you got a
Oh,
and,
like
he just like
doing the
crush. He does like a
fucking-
duet or whatever.
You're
you
not
know?
black though, so
I
that's the
know
problem.
that's the thing. So I wouldn't. It would not be funny if I did it that way. But
if you what is it? You what you Ben Affleck? You a pervert? If you do
yes,
that.
yeah, that's the thing. It's very creepy. A white guy just like if I just breathe heavily, I'm like pop that nipple. No, but what is I think possible is when the people who like those type of videos, we all do the same sort of shit. And if you like read the comments of it, it's funny. Like you get very tense. Like I will flex like all my muscles and like I'm like my tongue's on the roof of my mouth and I'm like pushing into the ground, wanting them to like do it. And then when it happens, you're like you relax. And comments will be like, you know, like this if you were like tense at this moment or whatever. So I think if millions of people watch those things, and then if you're like the guy who like is relatable about it to the people who watch it, but then I just have like my timeline looks gross. I have thumbnails of me and like disgust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I fully recognize it's disgusting. I also love it and I watch it every goddamn night. But
God damn, dude.
it's like how about this? How much money for you to be like the pimple guy, to be known as that guy? Because it's not like you have pimples. It's not like you're
$1 more than I make.
Yeah. Okay, all right. That's kind of what I'm asking. Like it's not the most prestigious of jobs.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're the gross one. You're just like, I don't know. I have a weird proclivity for this, like a million other people do. And now I make money because it's like if I watch it every night, well, maybe I should make some money. You know?
Yeah. I'll block you, but
that's what like I'd have to have like a separate account. Because I understand you can't just bombard. You can't just, I follow you for 1 minute, man, and now you're sneaking gross pimples and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. So I'd have to, like, start a whole new thing.
I
don't
mean,
know.
do it.
I got to find out how many people, I don't know if Barstool people are into it, or if it's another corner of the internet, the weirdos who like that shit. But if you like that sort of content, I don't know. Reach out to me. I intentionally messed up a tattoo for a client who wanted a racist symbol. In this scenario... I understand that you're like doing some like racist vigilante shit. I don't know, man. I paid you to draw a picture. Draw the picture. Put the fucking swastika on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Means not fucking welcome.
Right.
Derek Vineyard gets a lot of shine on this show.
We talk about that so often. So often. Okay, if I ask for a swastika, okay, no. If I ask for like a picture of like of Auschwitz, like no. If I ask for...
If you want the Confederate flag.
Yeah, you know, like if some
Well,
hillbilly,
history, not hate. You know.
yeah, if some hillbilly asks for the Confederate flag, I don't know, give him the fucking Confederate
Yeah,
flag.
like I said,
It's not history.
it's not. It's what Ole Miss is about. It's a rebel yell.
It's Dixie. Yeah, Mason Dixon line. What's the big deal? Like, what are other? What's an oak?
Would
what's
you
what's
know-
a not so bad racist?
Okay,
symbol?
hang on. Wait. Okay, pretend you're in the ink shop, right? Let me get a pen out real quick.
You're gonna draw not a swastika on me,
I'm gonna draw something. I'm gonna see if you
Okay.
can tell.
and it's gonna be racist.
Well, first of all, just so you're, I'm not gonna actually draw it.
Oh, okay.
But the
I was fully prepared. I was like, you're gonna draw a swastika on me. Because here's the thing: there's not that many things.
yeah.
It's the swastika. It's the Confederate flag.
Okay, how about this?
I don't. It was a circle,
Uh huh.
and like something in the middle, and
Yeah.
then like dot.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a Hitler mustache with a smiley face.
Oh. Wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
If that was on my back, I would have been like, "Cool, man." He put like my mom's face on me, or whatever. You know, whatever. It's like, no, he put a fucking Hitler stash
Quick
on
little Hitler stash for the boy.
a Hitler stash.
It was. I mean, I had the big circle was the oval face. The thing in the middle was the nose.
Yeah.
And then under it, I put the mustache, and then I put a smiley face.
I think if someone comes in and says, "Can you put like I need a portrait done," and it happens to have a little stash like that, you got to do it.
Yeah. But it's Michael Jordan in the Haynes commercial.
Right? Yeah. Come on, this is not Hitler. It's just a guy with a tiny mustache.
We had $160 million on Jordan 1. Pretty good. Got to honor him somehow.
Just do it.
I got one more. My buddy texted me this. Am I the asshole? My buddy, he said his friend does like really like lovey-dovey content
Yeah.
on like his social media. He's like, I just can't do it. And
Send it to Paz. We'll put it on the big screen.
okay. Hang on a sec.
I don't think that we have.
Well, I'll
No,
send
just send it.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
I think it might have sent it to your computer. No, it's in your phone. I think.
If you do, you know, it's a fine line with the lovey-dovey stuff. It's like, you know.
Look how ready he is.
Bro, look how ready he is right now. Bro, we were gonna do it at all 3 shows. He would have crawled into a hole and died. If he's this red now, if we did that at the live show, oh my god.
You guys held that in all week.
Yeah, dude,
Every
we
time-
kept trying to shorten the show so we could get.
It was like the one segment. It's funny, but it wasn't like the best. So it was like we're at an hour and a half every show. We got to cut something, and it was always that one.
For those who don't know, Pavs had a video on his Instagram, and it's him and his girlfriend being cute as hell, and it was
Just little fit
I'll be your Roman.
I was just showing off a fit. She just happened to be in the video.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't love my girlfriend. She just happens to be hugging and kissing me in the videos. You know. Yeah.
It wasn't my idea. I
Well,
swear.
here's what I want to say: that don't stop.
Okay.
Keep doing this. Another thing the internet ruined. The internet ruined the internet, because back in the day when it was just like the internet became, everyone's account became like a brand account. Everyone has their personal brand. Everyone is like creating an aesthetic and all shit. Just put whatever nonsense you want up there, and that's the best way. That's how the internet's supposed to be used. It's supposed to be, you be my Romeo, I'll be your Juliet, and like you fucking tap your toes, whatever you do. Dude, the internet was so much better back
Fucking,
when.
I don't know. Put on your girlfriend's dress. And you fucking kiss her on the lips in front of everybody. No big deal.
Like back in the day, and the internet ruined everything. I'm going to say it all the time because it did ruin everything, and it's going to sound like an old man yelling at the clouds, and I don't care. Like when Facebook was popping, like before like everything became like someone trying to have like their
It was
grid
before
right.
somebody made money off it.
Exactly. It was
Like
like,
once a girl posed a certain way and made money, every girl thought, I'll put on like leather pants and pop my ass, and it's like you're just a regular person. Why are you doing taking pictures like that?
Why? Yeah,
You know,
like dude, every
that's not
picture
for
is
you.
so
That's-
fun. Like,
yeah.
bro, do you when I loved the internet, when I loved it, like I'd come home, I'd wake up Sunday morning, I'd get like a bacon, egg, and cheese, I'd cut on Facebook, and it would be 93 blurry pictures.
Yep.
Where I'd be like, that was like, that's not a good. But it's
Bro,
just fucking.
people would go out for a night. Think about how curated your Instagram feed is now. You would go out for one night and people would post 100 photos. 100.
Dude, every
100.
Every comment under it was just either gassing each other up,
Khalid's face was like,
they did, or just like fucking complete nonsense that you don't
garbage.
remember. It was like, oh fuck, I do remember Scooby Doo, Scooby Doo. That was when the internet was fucking jammed, dude. Now everyone's got their fucking perfect little manicured shit.
It's like anything else. Once something's around long enough for there to be a cool and not cool of it, is when it's ruined. And in the beginning, we didn't know what was cool and what wasn't cool, so you just did shit.
You were just yourself.
And then eventually, what's cool is like hot chicks and fucking like dance moves and whatever. It's like, that's cool and this is not.
Right.
In the beginning, it was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna like put the pictures of me and
you
my
just
girlfriend.
post on your buddy's wall like a 10-paragraph thing. What's up, fuckwad?
Yes. Oh my god.
You get home, you read it, you're so jacked up. Like Facebook notification. Fuck yeah.
The wall.
No,
the
dude,
Facebook
dude, the
wall was
dude,
just people
post on
trying to be
walls.
funny and not being funny.
Yo,
It was glorious.
It was an open mic night.
It
and
was just like,
a
I'm gonna put a
disaster.
Ron Burgundy quote on my friend's wall. Shit is so funny, man. God, it was the best.
It was awesome. And now the moment you get a job here, you start working to like have this perfect internet presence. And the best internet presence is an imperfect internet presence. It is
bars. I'll give him credit for posting it. It's insane. It's insane. In 2023.
If I don't fucking
working
see
here to post that is crazy.
It's crazy.
But now you have to
take us back.
Now you have to. If I don't see another one within a week, I'm gonna be mad. Gotta see him all the time now.
What's the song? Sing us a song real quick.
The Tomioka song?
Yeah.
Wait, was that why Colleen? Is that why you suggested to do that? I don't know the lyrics.
It's definitely a Romeo and Juliet reference.
It was great.
I'll check real quick.
The foot up front, the hug at the
I
end.
don't know the ALDs.
Great line.
Bro, I can see this song playing when I check my buddy's MySpace page.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude, that's right.
You know that HTML code?
That is the internet ruined being the internet for sure.
It all comes full circle. All right, voicemails. What do we got?
Voicemails are brought to you by Pirate Water. I'm going to do the whole ad read. I'm going to do it in this accent. I'm probably going to go Irish with it. I always do. But here's the deal. You get your Pirate Water. It's a pirate tea in a can. You get your Bahama Mama. You get your Miami Vice. You get your... What else is there? There's the Sex on the Beach, of course, yeah. And then there's your favorite margarita. We were doing shows over there in Austin, in Houston, in Dallas, and the wait staff everywhere just loved a margarita. Everyone talking about margarita. They also warned everybody. They say, you give them more than 3 of these, you go to Davy Jones's locker. They wouldn't let anybody have more than 3 Pirate Waters because that's how you know it's a party in a can. For if you're looking for a good time this spring, this summer, to hang out by the beach, the pool, wherever you may be, lad, Irish again, then you're going to get a Pirate Water. So get yourself a Pirate Water, get yourself swashbuckled, get yourself pegged, do the whole shit and caboodle, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole shebang. I combined the two there. Now go to drinkpiratewater.com or you can order it on GoPuff. Drinkpiratewater.com, find a location nearest you, or order it on GoPuff. Lay by the pool and drink the drinks.
So I have a fun fact per John's
Hell yeah.
request for fun facts, and it's about when William the Conqueror died. He's the homie who invaded England in 1066 and created the monarchy as we currently know it. So he dies in like spring, summer, sometime along there. And a huge heat wave like rips across England. So while he's laying in state in most likely Westminster Abbey, let's just assume.
Very apropos.
And his body's decomposing and it's like producing all this gas as one does when they decompose. It's creating this like really noxious environment, and then his corpse exploded on funeral goers. So
Perfect.
That's an awesome
Yeah.
fun fact.
That is a great
William
one.
the Conqueror
Medieval times,
exploded
man.
on people.
Yo,
Fucking gross.
we went to the funeral museum in Houston, and all week on tour, we talked all about
What was? Did you say her
funerals
name?
and embalming and 20-day funerals and
Sarah.
and how they used to just fill them up with cum and all this stuff. And Sarah comes in perfectly with the William the Conqueror exploded. Because, I think you just fill up with like air or whatever, right? And then it's
So Sarah, again, that's exactly what I wanted. William the Conqueror blew up on people. But his body was laying in state. Does that mean like is that when a body laid in state back then? Obviously, it wasn't enshrined or anything like there was.
No, I think that means for people to come see.
But it was just an open air.
It sounds like it. It sounds like usually like what they do. Yeah, you're on top of like a block of like marble now, like the Pope. I think does that.
Yeah.
But you're not in a casket or anything like that. I think you're.
So like, do modern caskets prevent that, or do people just explode once we put them underground?
I think we embalm them. You drain all the liquid. You drain all the air.
All that
stuff,
mortician stuff is what does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, just get this shit underground and let it pop.
Yeah, that would be crazy, bro. That I wanted to be cremated.
They
might
dig up bodies for like DNA and stuff, and it would just be a mess.
Can I put that in? Can I put that in my living will?
You don't want to be embalmed.
I don't want.
You want to explode.
Yeah. Bro,
your living body is disgusting. Your dead body waiting for it to explode is got to be vile.
Like there are no laws preventing that, right? I can just explode if I want to.
I wonder if I know because there is laws, and I always thought this was funny. Like if you bury a body, you get hit with like unlawful disposal of a body.
Yeah.
Because I do think if you
you can do the funeral thing. I'll leave you $10K, get the casket, and then like don't touch me anymore.
And just let me be.
What if? Because I am an organ donor. That's an important part of my life. I accidentally checked the box. Can't go back now,
bro. Could you imagine someone being like, "I'm on my deathbed," and the doctor's like, "We've got a match." Like John Feitelberg, you're gonna get his organs. I'd be no. Let me die. Whatever I've got in me now is probably better.
But let's say like. Can they take my organs and I still explode, or do I have to stop being an organ donor?
I think it's more of a matter of like your belly, like your just open carcass than the organs themselves.
Okay.
With no knowledge on the subject, I bet you can take organs out, and maybe you would even.
But I feel like even like the fucking cut you got to give me to get my organs out. That's kind of like it's not a perfectly sealed Ziploc bag. It's gonna seep out.
We need to plug your asshole. And fucking put some shit in your mouth.
William the Conqueror style. Yeah, he was plugged up.
Just pop. Pop goes the weasel.
I really want to explode.
Could you imagine some bitch is like, oh my God, William the Conqueror died. Oh, you know that somebody got like a William the Conqueror dead body face.
Yeah. Her and Jackie Kennedy got some good keepsakes. That thing would fetch a pretty penny on the auction block.
You, as the youngins say, you've been in your bag. You have been in your bag. I think it's since the start of Out of Order, John has just been in his bag saying shit that I'm like, oh,
well, dude,
you're walking home with head on you.
I don't know if anyone gets mad at anything.
Get more head than Jackie Onassis, man. Let's go. We really need to make fun facts a thing.
Yeah, I mean it's fantastic.
And you know what I love about fun facts? The way people go, fun fact,
because everyone's got one.
But
everyone's got a fun fact.
You just go, fun fact.
Yeah.
Everyone goes, what?
Whoa! I want to hear a fun fact.
That your voice just goes, fun fact,
bro.
It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm going to tell you something. Ooh, fun fact.
I want this to get so caught on. This is no longer case. This is just
fun fact.
It's just a fun fact show. You call in with your fun facts.
Finally, be the name.
The Fun Fact Show.
Fun facts. Yeah. Hey, you watch that?
We'll talk about gaping asshole for an hour and a half, but then for 20 minutes you get some fun facts.
Maybe sometimes a fun fact about gaping asshole. Crossover. A podcast called Fun Facts. Fun Facts with KFC and Feitelberg. Oh. Should we just change the name right now? We could make merch right now that says Fun Fact.
We should do a segment.
Why don't we'll just steal like the Bordy Barn, like the smiley face, like a little yellow circle that says Fun Fact. Done. New show. Rebranded. I've always wanted to rebrand. I hate the name of the show. I've been dying to change the name of the show. It's my goddamn namesake. I hate it. I want it gone forever. The other day, somebody just tweeted me. I think, no, it wasn't. Last night was the Embiid thing. There was something else. Oh, by the way, I was messaging with the dude who runs Cold Takes Exposed.
Uh-huh.
I hate him now. Like, Fred. Every time Cold Takes goes on, I just get flooded with people talking about my marriage and now calling me a racist.
What would you say?
I don't. I said when Embiid broke his foot for like the 50th time, like 5 years ago. I was like, his career's over. I like messaged him and I was like, I hate you, dude. I hate you, man. It's like every time because he posts the tweet when I'm like some dude named Giannis Antetokounmpo was in the slam dunk contest, which at the time everyone was like, fuck this, and every single fucking year when Embiid is hurt during the playoffs, I'm like, this is what I'm fucking talking about. So every time I'm like, I like stand by both those. But I was just like, dude, I can't stand you. Like every time you do this, I just get flooded with hate about my divorce and my family and my kids. And he's just like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, man. I was like, yeah. I was like, look at this one. Like this guy just sent me a picture of a KKK hood, and this guy's just like making fun of my kids, and he's like, it's wild, man. Like you're not picking up what I'm putting down here.
To be fair to him, we used to get that quite a bit.
What?
Like Barstool fans suck.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
The thing. What I would say to that is, yeah, but we're making money doing this. You get nothing out of this.
He's got a book out.
Yeah, he does have his book out. Fred said he said. You read my book, you'll like it, and I'm never gonna do that. But wait, what was the reason I brought that up? So I don't know if it was the Embiid thing or something else where people were mad at me, maybe the WBC, whatever. Somebody just sent me a tweet, and it's always like you say, the truest stuff like hurts the most, and it just said, if your podcast had a different name, it would be more successful. With a period. With a period at the end of the tweet. And I was like,
I like that.
Saying it for years.
It's really nice. It's just like, it's a really good show. It's not a good name.
Poorly named show.
What are you gonna
Poorly
do?
named show. I started it 100 years ago, and I didn't even know what podcast names were. That was the thing. That's like when you were posted on your friend's wall.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just fucking making shit up here. Now you know that you would never name your fucking podcast with the word radio in it. But back then we didn't. I'm sorry I started so goddamn early, you assholes. All right, last voicemail, or one more.
We have
or two more. What are we?
Two more.
What's up, Fights KFC gang? First off, Pirate Water has made it to Nebraska. Just letting you know. Second, I was watching the most recent episode, and Fights referenced Jax Teller and the Sons of Anarchy finale. It got me thinking, that was the most recent and maybe most emotional I've been at the season or series finale of any TV show. Like, I teared up at the end of that, and my wife kind of gave me shit because usually I just have no emotion in my life.
No, fuck that. That was a tear-worthy moment.
But I was wondering, what was the TV either season or series finale that you guys got the most emotional about? Whether it made you tear up, angry, happy, whatever. What was it?
I have far more just episodes of TV. Usually finales stink. Like usually, we're always criticizing finales.
I was gonna say Jax didn't hit me like fucking what's his name did.
Opie
was worse than Jax.
Worse than Opie was Opie's wife. Opie finding out that his wife died was
kind of
brutal.
annoying. Kind of had it coming when you think about it. Can't go against the family.
Finale. I don't think I've like cried at usually I'm like, they fucked it up again.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's definitely anger.
I didn't cry. Like
Game of Thrones was. It wasn't even. I'd actually love to go back. You know what? I am going to do it. Speaking of shitty things, I tweeted at 10:25 p.m. on 4/28/19. I tweeted it from Earth.
What's that about?
I don't. I'm just seeing that for the first time.
Yeah, some people have that.
Battle of Winterfell immediate review.
Yeah. I remember this. I remember that.
Okay. A widely hated episode.
Right. Well,
now.
Yes. Now. Yeah, we were never more right than anything.
Fights, come on, man. No way. Freezing cold take. Watching tomorrow night. You're an idiot. Mm-hmm. You're so zany. Ha ha ha. That's fine. I get that, but you're wrong and I hate you. You hate life and everything in it. Why would you think you'd like it? You're an absolute buffoon. Yikes, this take won't hold up well. We get it. You're a hipster, Fights. You're a fucking loser, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
Get it.
It was so awful. Wait, no, that's a good one. What a loser. Yep. Fights in a forced contrarian take. Name a more iconic duo. You're a fucking loser. Well, that's a bad take. Cringe. Clickbait. Mm-hmm. Hating popular things doesn't make you interesting. Kill yourself. Only here for the ratio. OMG, you're so unique.
People say that. You know what is the least interesting thing is just loving everything
Yeah.
because other people do. Like if I'd rather be contrarian than the opposite. I'd rather I don't want to be either. But if I had a choice between being the guy who just loves absolutely everything and having like a high standard and being contrarian, that 1,000% of the time.
I have said, and this is actually one thing I said once where I was like, oh, I like that. Probably the only thing ever. Where I said I don't strive to be different, but I don't like being the same. If that's a contrarian, then it is what it is.
Fine,
but
whatever,
like,
the
worst take in the history of takes, you are banned from watching
I said,
television.
which season were we more correct on? Final episodes of Game of Thrones, because me and Clem were like doing that podcast, and I was like, guys, that first episode wasn't that good, and people hated me. And then I was like, the second one didn't redeem it at all. And by the third one, I was like, we're running out of time. This season sucks, guys. And everyone was killing us, and me and Clem were the only ones going like, I don't want it to be this way.
Right. I'm just not enjoying it.
I said that, or last Mets season, because watching the Mets now, like, they're not as good and they're not as exciting, and you don't have Edwin Diaz and they're not playing as well. And I was like, I told you a million times last season, enjoy this one because they don't come along like this. And I was like, which one are we more right on? Because as time goes on, the Game of Thrones thing was my proudest moment on the internet to be like not bullied by people. I was like, no, I'm sticking to my guns on this. I think this shit sucks, and I think I'm not even like my personal preference. I'm like, this objectively is bad. If you look at like the way TV is written and all that, and people just why can people not do that?
Yeah,
it's like you can love the first 5, 6, 7, whatever seasons, and then be like, these episodes were not good.
They're written by entirely different people.
You were able to do it 6 months later. Right. Why couldn't you do it in the moment?
Right.
That was a.
I get like being like wrapped up in it. And like I want to love it. I want to love it. I want to love it. I'm going to convince myself to love it.
But that's one thing. As long as you acknowledge that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Like some part of you has to go, that wasn't that good, but I love these guys. I love this show, so I'm just going to say,
Yeah.
But like that, I remember that moment being like, this is a moment for me where I know, like, this is what it takes to like make content on the internet, because other people would just be like, yeah, okay, it was great. It's like you have to be willing to be the person who's like the voice of reason, and you get crushed for it. You get fucking hammered like that.
I have 100 more advice.
So many people unfollowing me during Game of Stools and shit. I thought I liked you. It was like, what? You don't like me anymore because the TV show's not good?
Yeah.
What? But that's kind of what it takes.
Where all the freezing cold takes on that one, huh? All those fucking suck bags in my mentions.
I'm looking at this list. 15 finales that left us in pieces. The Good Place was sad.
I never finished it.
That was a good show.
I got out. Once I got to like heaven, I stopped watching. I liked them when they were in hell.
MASH, never watched it. Weird Mageddon, don't know what that is. Scrubs, I never watched that.
Scrubs has an episode. Oof, boy, is a sad one. But again, it's not the finale. That's
the last one with Friends.
Where do you think we are right now? Is
Orange is the New Black. Sad. Definitely don't care about that. Supernatural. Who gives a fuck? Breaking Bad. Felina was not like cry worthy because it was like by that point Walter was bad. You're not like crying for him. BoJack Horseman. I don't know. The Office finale. There was some tears. Right.
Sure, but it's one of those things where it's like, is it you're not gonna get tears when you're like kind of stumbling to the finish line kind of deal. Again, I actually do think that seasons like 9, 8, and 7 are overly criticized. I still think they do have their good parts. But I don't tear up during that. When Michael shows up to be the best man or the best mensch, or when Andy says, "I wish you could remember the good times," which again I knew that quote. It gets attributed to Andy. I had heard that before. It's a real quote, I can't find it from somewhere else, but it's from somewhere else.
The number 1 was Fleabag. I definitely was not crying at Fleabag.
I wasn't either, but I actually
Killing Eve. I definitely don't know about.
Are they talking about Fleabag season 1?
No, I think
that's the series.
The series.
I don't know if I remember the series. I rewatched the season pretty recently. That wasn't really the season 1.
So yeah, when she's talking with the priest and all that shit.
Yeah.
The most I've ever cried, I think, at any piece of entertainment.
By the way, she's excuse me, she's dating fucking what's his stick? Bread or Banshees.
Yeah, I don't know. That's who.
But that's a monster duo.
That's an Irish couple, right?
Yeah.
She's
English.
British. She
Phoebe
is.
Waller-Bridge.
I think Netflix paid her, or whoever that was on paid her for like 3 projects, and she's just like not doing the other ones. She just like collect the money.
Really?
Or like I don't know if she's
that's
like
Prime.
She's just like she owes them, but she's just like not doing them. She's pretty gangster. I would feel a lot of pressure. Like that's a hard. You're almost a victim of how great your first project is.
Yeah.
I think it's her first project, first one to make it, because it's like whatever she puts out next is not going to live with.
Well, she wrote the new Bond.
Okay, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
show she's in or whatever. Like, the hardest I've ever like cried is I think it's season 1 of Walking Dead, back when that show was good, 35 seasons ago. Lori, the mom, is giving birth, and like she knows she's gonna die, and she's just talking to her son and Rick, or Carl and Rick, just about like, you know, I'm gonna die, and like here's, you know, my final words. I was soaked. I was getting like pruny skin from how hard I was crying, which is funny now because it's like at the time Walking Dead was like the best cable show ever, and it was now I'm like that show sucks. But that was the saddest. But I don't think any finales really get me. One more, last one.
Hey guys, what's up? I just had a quick question for you. But first, I know the fry thing is a couple weeks old at this point, but I just wanted to show you something. It's a McDonald's fry I just found in my center cup holder, so I think we know the answer to that question.
Tell you what, you're not
But
finding
anyways,
in
my
your
question
consoles.
is, if you could take a pill that would alleviate all your symptoms anytime you get sick, so anytime you get sick, you just take a pill and then you feel 100% better, nothing wrong with you. Except the only problem is, every time you take it, your chance of getting cancer increases by 1%. You still taking the pill? When are you taking the pill? What's the bar? When do you use it? When do you not use it?
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's about
So
it.
I would
Viva.
say white people like us have like a 40% chance of getting cancer.
Yeah.
So
sure.
we're starting.
I said yeah to that so easily. Like, yeah,
Well, white
you're
people
in white today. That's scientific.
White people disease.
Yeah.
We're gonna get cancer and die. Right?
Is that it? Is that true?
I don't know. I think everybody gets cancer, but I feel like white people get weird diseases and die all the time. So like my point being that you're not starting from zero. I think we're starting from higher than that.
Mhm.
So if you do it like 10 times, it's not like, oh, I have a 10% chance. Now I think it's like you have a 50% chance.
But does that 1% is like, let's say you were 0% likely to get cancer because you have those genetic tests. Like I don't know if anyone's 0%, but let's say you were.
Mm-hmm.
Then adding 1%, that adds a full 1%, or that adds a 1% to your 0%. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I feel what you mean.
I don't think I'm explaining it right, but
yeah, like my zero is starting at 40%.
Yeah.
So it's still just 1% more of. I get what you mean. We're getting too deep with it.
You're saying a full 1%. So if I take it 100 times, I am getting cancer.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I would.
I don't get like.
I mean, I would probably take it like 49 times. Like I still got a good shot.
I think
you gotta die somehow.
I think it's a like part of being a drinker that like I'm hungover a lot. So like when I'm sick, I'm just like just power through it. Like, just go.
Yeah.
And like I don't really. I've been sick since Sunday. I've been very sick since Sunday when we hung out with someone with COVID.
Dude, that Monday episode, I took a muscle relaxer the night before to sleep. I was like,
bro, we did an interview. There was one point in the interview, you looked at me, and I was like, his eyes aren't in his head. Like,
I was like, I was dying, dude.
It was like you looked back at me. I was like, "Oh, we got to wrap."
Yeah,
Kevin's gonna fall asleep right now.
I was literally like, falling asleep as I did it. I was like, after coming off that tour, hanging out with somebody, I was like, but I think adulthood is part of just powering through those moments. But if you had
but that's what I mean. Like, I think if it was one of those things that got invented today, I'd be like, I'm never gonna take it. Like, it's one of those things I grew up in that world. But like, I think I either get hospital sick or I do my day.
I think it's one of those like if you never break the seal. I think if you took it once and you were like, oh wow.
I could never take it on a regular day because my baseline is I'm sick. So like if I took it, I'm like, wait, is this how people feel every day? Like if it cured ailments that I didn't even realize were ailments.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you even know what good feels like
Right.
until you take this pill.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, like my knees and this and all that don't hurt anymore. So it's like then you would take it like,
Dude,
like 99 times. Also, is it just that you're gonna get cancer? Like, do I take my 100th pill and I get cancer? Or it's like, you are now guaranteed to get cancer when you get
You die at
cancer
86
age.
of cancer.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I'll just...
yeah.
Again, probably going to happen anyway. So...
Dude, I think I wouldn't. I'm so sick right now, and I think it's my glands are so swollen. I can't really turn my head. So I'm, but here I am amongst you folks, and I'm just powering through it.
My glands are so swollen, I can't turn my head.
If you look at the Dana interview, I think most of that Dana interview, I'm just like staring straight forward because I couldn't really look over at Dana.
Bro, you should be able to turn your head. And if you can't,
I
you need
can,
to
but
go
like
home.
it just hurts. It's
You
like
need to,
once I get to
squeeze
here,
you
it's
gotta
like
drain your
oh.
fucking glands or whatever.
Yeah, if it gets, it's like a very tender soreness when I turn my head.
To answer the question, I think I would take it. You'd have to just like set a standard for like I only take it when it's this bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't just be like I'm hungover. You know?
Right.
It's got.
Oh, I died in college.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're just describing heavy drug use that I do all the time. But I think I would take it.
I'd save it. I'd save it till I was old, till I actually had cancer.
But-
I was like,
Loophole fixes all my problems.
yeah, I got cancer. Boom,
No, I don't.
I'm fine.
But then it becomes a black hole.
yeah. Then
You just
tomorrow I have
implode on
a
yourself.
higher chance of cancer.
Yeah,
And-
you don't have cancer today, but tomorrow you get double cancer.
Yeah.
Eventually, you just pop like William the Conqueror.
By the way, speaking of being sick, isn't it so weird that like my only like lasting thing from COVID is just like thinking about how weird it is. Like I just explicitly said I'm sick. No one cares.
Not anymore.
But it is like, but there's still like
Back then, it was like scary to.
But it's at least in your head a bit, right? Now, like, I'm just sitting in a room with an infected person now. Or did I just put it in your head there?
Oh yeah, no, I thought you meant that like I don't care anymore.
You don't, but I think about it more where I'm like, I'm just sitting next to a person who's gonna get me sick.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, it was like.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Nobody gives a fuck. All right, time for Rory and Mal on KFC Radio. So let's get into it.
Right, these guys, well, Julian particularly, he made me. He wanted to react to the list. And
The producers are always trying.
They're
Ours are always like, yo,
things,
you want
man.
me to bring him in here and we can get him on the. No,
Yeah, like,
I want a
no,
motherfucker behind his back like an adult.
We're gonna talk about him. I'm not gonna say it to his face. Are you kidding me?
Last episode's title was Rory is Drake's Munch. I'm like, thanks, producer. I know it's clickable, but fuck.
Yeah,
They're not helping me out, bro.
the thing with that was it's because it's a real thing for Rory and myself.
Yeah.
I understand how to others they just want it to be entertaining
It's
and they
like
want us to
gossip.
go
It's like
back.
wrestling, you know?
Yeah, they want us to go back and forth, but it's like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was a real situation that happened that we went through and we dealt with. But it started to get a little too personal, and I'm all with entertaining and because we built a fan base and we built a following, so we owe them the story. We owe them what happened, and we did that. And there's been little back and forths throughout the last 2-3 years about it, but it's the last exchange. It started because I know where Rory and myself can take it.
Yeah,
because we know the real story. We
Right.
know what really happened. We know things that really are going on. So it just was like, we could entertain this and have fun and, air out a whole bunch of shit. But, I'm one of those guys, man, where my integrity is just, it's not for entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's personal, and I wanted to go back and forth and I wanted to entertain it. And, we had a whole bunch of things that we could have said. But I always go back to the feeling of, it's kind of like post-nut clarity. When you have sex with somebody you shouldn't, and you're in the bathroom, you're in the bathroom after, you're like, why did I just do that? So it's kind of like we
Wildest
can,
podcast
yeah, like we
orgy
can go back and forth. We can do this forever, but then it's like, I'm gonna look up one day and be like, why?
Yeah. I mean, because people do. It will get views and it gets downloads.
Yeah, but it's
and
like it's for
fans
the
eat
moment,
it
and then
up.
as soon as somebody clicks refresh, it's the next top story. It's like, so it's like, why did we entertain that? Why do we go back and forth? When again, it's a real situation, it's a real thing. Like it's something that we went through, and I mean, I'm all for entertaining. I'm all for having fun, and people say, oh, it's just have fun, don't take it personal. I'm like, but it is personal.
That was the funniest thing. Speaking of Reddit, with the last 5-minute response I gave, which to me was like, all right, it's done now. When I was like, just leave me the fuck alone. You shut up, I'll shut up. We move on with our lives. I'm cool. Everyone in the comments, Twitter, everything. Yo, you sound hurt. Yeah.
right.
Oh my god! Look how hurt Rory sounds. I'm like,
I went
was
through some
hurt.
shit that hurt.
Like, no, that's not offending me. I sounded hurt because I was hurt.
Yeah. No, I mean that it like the line between real life and I mean I dealt with it my whole life because I stupidly made my content my life.
Yeah.
When things were good, it was fun.
Right.
I was like, let's talk about everything. Shit gets bad. Well, you can't close the door on that. You can't, put that back in.
You talk about everything else.
Yeah. Right. I also hate that too, though. It's like, okay, well, I give you 99% of my life. Can I have the 1%?
Well, yeah, something for
No. If you give me 99, you have to give me 100.
Right.
Fuck you. No, I don't.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I don't have to give you anything. So if it's like the fans want it, it's like I don't think. And when there is more to the story, in whatever situation you may be dealing with, and then online, you could say it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be 10,000
Oh, it's a
times
lot
worse.
More. Like I said,
Dude,
it's like for what? You know what I mean? Like for what?
Especially what I've learned, you can't change minds.
You can't.
So
and then the thing is, our story is going to stay the same because it's the truth.
Yeah.
So it's like, how many times do you want us to keep repeating the same thing?
Right.
Like, it's like, this is what happened.
No, but I think people probably know that there's always more to the story.
Yeah,
and so they want to hear the full truth.
Or they just completely make up their own.
Brother, let me tell you, bro. There are rumors about me that I'm like, this is fucking insane. That you would put like ridiculous stories that I'm like, come on, guys.
And the speculation is fine. If you want to think something like, let me try to concoct my own story of what information I have.
I think
it's not. That's fine.
Yeah.
it's the people that with such confidence.
It is. It's true.
What?
Telling me my business.
It gets weird.
Yeah.
It's the catch-22 of this shit. Those people are extremely important. So as much as you say for your own mental health, don't look at Reddit. I look at it because it is important.
Yeah.
Even if it's negative.
I get that.
Unfortunately, that's the space we live in, and it's not just podcasting. It's the world.
Yeah, I do get that. But I went through a phase where I was thinking about the most diehard Barstool fans. They are important. And even if they're like shitting on me, they are the ones who are clicking and reading and listening the most. But then especially when you get to the level that I think we are all at with our shows, there's a lot of other people who are not fucking trolling the Reddit and just love your show and want good things for you. You know?
I mean, it's weird now because now, when you try to be private, it's like, oh, you're acting weird.
Yeah.
It's like, some things are just private. Yeah, like some things are just private.
Yeah.
I understand this is entertainment, podcasting, and we talk about everything. We talk about everybody else's issues and things going on. So when it's us, we should talk about us as well.
Sure.
But it's like, within that, some things should remain private.
I also go back and forth on that where they're like, oh, well, you talk about everyone else, so why do you get a free pass? I'm like, I don't know, because it's double standard, motherfucker.
Sometimes it's that simple.
We make up these rules. Oh, they're not talking about that person because it's their friend.
Yeah.
Yup.
Exactly.
Fucking yup.
Exactly.
That's why.
Which is what you're supposed to do.
I have admitted to that. Hey, bias over here.
Yeah. We never said we were unbiased. So.
Absolutely.
All right, big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.